Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of the XCast. I am Ryan, aka GoldTooRust, and I'm joined by my friends.
Black Jacket Joe, also, you just call me Joe, who the fuck cares? We're finally doing another one. We're also joined again by our famous old friend,
XCast.
Did you just call him little dude? Are you
Yeah, wait a minute.
shit? What the fuck? What the fuck, man?
Is he gonna get fucking triggered? Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, he's gonna get triggered.
And, you know, who the fuck cares? Oh, I don't care.
Nah, I ain't got the time to get triggered. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time to get triggered, son.
But on the other hand, the rest of us are all just fully triggered because of everything that's been happening and keeping us from fucking doing a goddamn podcast.
Oh, it's been fun.
Fun would not be one of the words I'd use to describe it, but where should we even start?
Let's start immediately after the last episode.
Well, immediately after the last episode, let's see. Gosh, when was the last episode? It's been a month
I think
at least.
November.
A month
No,
at least.
Oh, that's
It's
right,
been like
November.
2 months.
Yeah, it was November.
That was the last one I was on, at least.
That was the last one where we like triggered the hell out of Dandy.
And it triggered the hell out of Dandy. Also, ahead of time, people, I apologize if you hear cars passing and other city sounds, but I have my windows open and I'm too lazy to fucking close them. So,
Wow, dude. Professional.
Damn. You just don't care about the audience.
no, they can
Wow,
fucking deal with it.
Rip headphone users.
Yeah, rip headphones. Okay, so the last episode was just right before Thanksgiving, probably the beginning of November, I believe.
Yeah.
And it started off with us triggering the fuck out of Dandy. Fun as fuck. Which
It was enjoyable.
we're debating whether he has the mental capacity or not to realize that we're all on a Skype chat as we normally do this, and he's joined the party like twice now. So I think.
Don't mind that sound. That was me falling out of my fucking chair. Alright. Don't. Oh my god, that hurt. Oh fuck. Oh.
One of the reasons I propose we do video for these podcasts, so we could have seen that shit.
Fuck you.
I'm sorry, but
I'm
none of
so
us
glad
would be
we're
able
not.
to-
Alright.
None of us would be able to breathe for like the next.
Okay,
20
first
minutes,
off,
so.
where the fuck did the screw go? Why is the seat of my chair like completely upside down? What the fuck did I do, dude?
And people, this kind of generally sets the tone as of the calamities that we've been facing trying to record a
Just
fucking
terrible
podcast.
luck, and I just ate shit.
I mean, one moment we were sitting in the chair properly, the next thing it's upside down. We don't know what the
I
fuck
tried
happened.
to scoop my chair up, and apparently the seat went with me, not the fucking wheels, and I just flew forward and like barely caught myself.
Oh, the mental image is so perfect
Oh,
right
it
now.
is.
What did
perfect.
you guys hear?
Just a crash.
Just a crashing noise.
It was like landed right on my ass. Fucking hurt.
Help me, I've fallen and can't get up.
Get up.
Exactly, dude. What the fuck?
Well,
So,
it started like
FYI,
a
it
button.
may or may not happen again because there's a screw missing on here, and I might forget about it. So, yeah. You were saying before.
So
any of that
last
happened,
episode
which
was
it
before.
totally
Last episode was before Thanksgiving, and then we tried recording an episode the next week, but I'm the only one right now who's capable of actually doing any of the recording for all of us. So I wasn't able to get on that week because of work or some other shit that was going on in my life. And I was like, well, maybe just because of the holidays, we'll just push it back for a while and try and do it before Christmas. And Ryan, you were like, yeah, that sounds fine. You know, give us kind of a chance to just recoup. And then I forget what. Oh, Hezekiah, you fucking disappeared.
Yeah, you know, just some normal, straight up more bullshit that I've had to deal with in life, you know, usually how it goes. But, you know, things are starting to look up. I'm going to be getting a really fucking nice job here next week, and going to be officially taking over ownership of my household. So.
That's nice. That's nice. Very good. Very good.
Very official.
Yes, indeed.
And so anyway, Ryan and I decided, well, let's try and get at least some podcasts out before the new year, thinking, And even if it's only like a half hour long, we can kind of explain what's been going on lately and so on. But we tried getting Dandy in on it, but I forget why he wouldn't. He probably just passed. He stopped vaping, I think, something like that.
Yeah, he stopped vaping and he died.
But
After he got ass blasted.
Yeah, right after the ass blasting, he just stopped vaping and
ass
fucking died.
blasting.
Ass
But-
blasting.
So we're like, well, fuck it. Just Ryan and I were like, fuck it. We'll just record one and get everything set up. And Ryan, your mic broke.
What do you mean?
Your mic broke. Like it.
Oh,
when we got to
yeah,
record.
no. Oh, yeah, no, I was about to say, oh shit, did it just break? Don't you fucking dare tell me something broke. Yeah, we were trying to record a podcast to get something out, so we had something, and right as we hit record, done. Just stopped working. Completely.
Yeah, completely.
Wasn't
No-
making any sound. Like, I could hear everything, I just couldn't speak. Like, the voice...
No. We had
part of
actually
the
started
microphone
recording. Like we were like a good decent way in. Like we were probably 16 minutes in, something like 15 or 16 minutes in, and then your mic just quit. Just would not. You could hear me, but I couldn't hear you. You couldn't speak through it at all.
Yeah,
and
it
I
was
was just like,
fucking
well, there's no point in just putting 15 minutes out. So I said, fuck it, and we scrapped it. And it just, from there, life kind of snowballed between class and work for Ryan and I. And Ezekiel couldn't get on for a while because of bullshit. And, just, it has been a terrible time trying to get a fucking podcast done. And we've scheduled to do one several times. But it just, one thing leads to another. And, either I'm unavailable to do it, and because I'm the only one right now who can record it, which we're quickly going to be remedying that fact here in March, thank God.
Very quickly.
Yo,
Hey, look who's joined us.
Oh, and look who's joined us.
Ezekiel's here too.
Yeah,
Zeke's is here.
the gang's all here.
The gang's all here.
The gang's all here.
We gotta
Dude,
figure
you missed
out
it.
the
I fell on
mystery,
my
gang.
ass.
Yeah, you missed him falling on his ass.
You missed me
What?
falling on my ass, dude.
Dude, for real?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just sitting here, and I tried to scoot in my chair, and the chair went with me, but not the wheels of the chair, so I landed straight on my ass.
My chair broke.
My chair broke.
Mature broke.
My chair broke.
But as we were saying, now that DandyTripod is with us, we just kept trying to schedule one, and life got in the way. And with Ryan's mic broke, we couldn't record for a while, and finally it got fixed. We just couldn't get the time down to do it. No one was available when we went to do it, and it just was a royal pain in the motherfucking ass. And but
Yes.
now finally here we are. And
Finally.
we're finally
Yes.
getting another podcast out for you folks who are still following us here at the
Those
XCast.
of you who haven't just come to the
Abandon us.
conclusion we all died.
It wasn't so much a planned hiatus, it was more or less we were forced into
Unplanned at
taking
all.
a hiatus, and
Yeah, very
it
unplanned.
just has been a pain in the ass to try and get to this point again.
It was
but-
horrible, dude.
Luckily in March, there'll be two of us who are going to be able to record because Ryan is getting a PC in March that'll be capable of doing the recording, and it's already triggering
Expect
Dandy.
mic quality improvements and stuff with that, because I'll actually have better equipment once the computer gets here and I can record things. Overall,
Yeah.
my side of the quality will be a bit better, and then since I can record as well, I can see if I can do some other improvements for like segments and stuff for everybody.
Yeah, we'll have two of us actually editing it, which will be fine, a little bit better because, it'll take some of the pressure off me being the only one with the PC right now who can actually function. And
And I have a bit more time to edit things.
yeah, even though sometimes I can edit while I'm at work, but that's another story.
Let's
But-
just not.
Let's just not delve into that. But I don't know. It has been a pain in the ass, ladies and gent. But let's get the ass blasting underway and move right on
Ass
to our next
blast.
testing. Or
Ass
God damn it, not.
Fuck! I realized I just knocked my cup over and there was some fucking water in it.
Good God, this podcast is already going to shit.
We're just fucking doomed. We're fucking doomed. We just.
There wasn't too much, like, it was from when I fell, I didn't notice it, but I thought it was a major spill because I saw just like a little bit of water on the floor. I was like, oh fuck, it's gotta be.
Just do it,
everywhere.
Dandy, and go hang your shit out to dry.
Right?
Pull up, what now?
Go pull a
You
you.
hung your Xbox to dry for a little bit.
Oh yeah, I did.
That was hilarious.
Regale us with this story,
I
Dandy.
think I gotta
Regale
tell
us.
him.
Regale you with the story, or however you say that. Okay,
Yeah,
anyway.
just tell a story.
Story time.
So I got a big cup full of fruit punch right next to my Xbox. A cup. Anyway, I got a big cup of fruit punch right next to
his
my
waifu
Xbox.
pillow.
Anyway, don't make me
Okay.
don't make the tripod get triggered now. Anyway,
Part 2.
Part
no,
2.
no,
Part 2.
no, please.
Walking Dead's trash.
Okay, anyway, so I was just like in the game. I was freaking in it. I was having a good time. I was just in it. So I reached over to get something to drink, and I wasn't watching where I was putting my hand, and I knocked my cup, and a lot of fruit punch spilled right into the venting system of my Xbox, which scared the living crap out of me because I saw a light go on inside the venting system. It flickered a little bit, and then the Xbox shut off. And I was like, "Oh no, God, no!" So I immediately unplugged everything. Got as much of the fruit punch out of my Xbox as I could. I tipped it over. A lot of it poured out, and I kept on shaking it to where I was still feeling drops come out. I was blowing into it. I was trying to get some hot air into it. I was waving it through the air. I was freaking trying to get all of it out.
I picture you with an Xbox above your head, just swinging it around the room, like, "Oh God, don't die, please."
Can I just make the joke real quick that
the
Dandy
fucking
got
double
his
intro-
Xbox wet and then he blew his Xbox?
I'm the other one
Oh
thinking
my
of all the
God.
fucking dirty double entendres with all this shit too.
All right. Anyway, freaking.
I'm just gonna.
So
be over
it's all
here.
unplugged, and I think to myself, "Oh crap! Now what do I do? So what I did was I opened the windows to where there's nothing but cold air coming in, and I put the Xbox upside down at an angle to where like it could all just drip out the end to where it was dripping out before. Well, the rest of it anyway. I got a lot of it out, but there was like still some in there. I could feel it because when I went to plug it in and test it again, it just shut off immediately. So I'm like, "Oh no, I broke my Xbox." Well, I woke up later that morning. I plugged it in, and it was fine.
Did you put it in a bowl of rice and Asians came and fixed it overnight?
No.
Oh my God.
See, I
Holy
told
shit.
I gave Joe like the Spark Notes version of that, and then I told him like the best part was I could picture you just putting your Xbox on a clothes hanger and hanging it out the window to let it dry, and then just going to bed. Like, yeah, it'll be dry in the morning.
It'll be dry in the morning. It's all good. Yeah, but I got
Yeah,
I got the Xbox all dried up, and it works good. It's been working good for a while now, and I'm just happy it's not broken. So.
Right? Even after all that.
Yeah.
By the way, did you guys already cover the segment of what have we been playing? Because you know
No.
what I've been.
No, we've
No,
been
we haven't-
explaining
we
why
haven't-
have we been gone.
Yeah, what have we been gone?
Why
And
have
we've
we?
moved and we've moved into story time now. And anybody else have any stories they'd like to share with the rest of the world today?
I mean, I fell on my ass in my chair and spilled a little.
Well, everybody heard that, so that's.
I got a
that's
girlfriend.
I turn 25 tomorrow, and on my fucking birthday, I have to go to the fucking doctor and the DMV. So that's when you know you've hit that adult stage where there's no turning back.
Rip you.
Fuck adulting.
I figured you would spend
Fuck
your
it,
birthday at like a gay nightclub called The Bulge.
That is
On
the
a
most
Thursday,
stereotypical name like you
On a
could have
Thursday.
ever thought of. On a Thursday.
Come on, guys. Let's go to the Bulge on a Thursday night.
Yeah, when there's nobody there.
Oh,
Hey, you get the
man.
whole dance floor to yourself then.
That's the depressing part. I want there to be other people on the dance floor, not just me.
Screw a dance floor. Let's get a pit going.
A fucking
Right.
pit.
What?
Well, there's plenty of pits. There's just some of them you want to smell, some of them you don't. You know, it's dealer's choice.
Wrong kind of pit. You're not a
On a
metalhead.
dance floor, I couldn't picture wanting to smell any pits.
Oh man.
Well, not at your guys'
I
concerts,
can't dance,
probably,
dude.
but
I
we're all
can't
gay at
dance,
the club, so you know they all smell better.
Is
Can't
is that like
dance.
a
I do
is
have
that a
good
gay
story.
like only gay men have nice smelling pits while they're dancing? Is that what you're trying to get at?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I'm offended. Are you fucking, like, assuming how I smell?
Yes,
I'm offended.
because you're straight.
Dude, I'm offended.
Oh.
You fucking breeder.
You know what's really weird here? He's assuming that all gay men have very nice smelling pits. Also, another thing about gay men, you will never hear them fart.
That is not true. You've heard me fart on numerous occasions.
It's just like,
Anybody else just picture the Family Guy bit? They're making fun of Shawshank Redemption, and then Cleveland's like narrating it. And he's like, after that, Peter's farts never made a sound again. And you just hear him like he lifts up his leg, and you just hear like a wind rush by, and he's just like, "Damn it!"
Yeah. So I did have a
man.
good story. Speaking of dancing,
All right.
so
Somebody's gone to a gay club.
fuck you. It's just, why would you say that? All right,
Call on me. Call on me.
No, that died in the party chat.
You
Aw.
call
Let
me
it
your
die.
banana.
Do-do-do, do-do-do.
Do 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 do.
Okay, it looks like I'm not needed here. There is no story apparently. It's just sing along time. But anyway, so me and my girlfriend went to a wedding, and shortly after a whole bunch of other stuff happened, it was the dance floor opened up and everyone got to dance. I can't really dance. So we go up
Shocker.
onto the dance floor, and I'm like attempting to like figure out how to move my legs in a okay formation, and then like
Oh, this
Before the dance, he was watching a video on how to bust a move 101.
exactly, dude. That's exactly what it looked like.
No, 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 no,
No,
turn it off, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off.
no.
Copyright,
Yes, that
fucker. Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry.
My God. All right, rip this episode. Fucking.
We do not own any of the material played on today's podcast.
I don't know what material you're talking
You're
about. I heard a bleep.
yeah,
It went
yeah,
silent
just,
for a second.
well, there was
It
just
was
this long string of fucking cursing right there.
weird. Yeah, that was so weird. But anyway, I get on to the dance floor. We're dancing for a while, and then I was like making a joke and just like thrashing around like an idiot. And then all of a sudden, I hit something with the back of my head. I was like, "Oh fuck, what was that?" Like really hard, too. I was like, "Oh fuck, what was that?" I turn around and there's a lady there holding her head. I was like, "Oh shit!" Like,
You just fucking headbutt some bitch.
yeah, I headbutted someone. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry," and she's just laughing. She's like, "Dude, you almost knocked me out for a second." I was like, "Oh god." My girlfriend looks at me. She's like about to fall over laughing, and I'm just like embarrassed, yet thinking it's the funniest thing in the world. I'm just trying to get off the dance floor. She
Like,
told me,
oh,
she's
yeah.
like, I didn't see
Awesome.
any of it happen. All I saw was the aftermath. Like,
Well, as we're
Jesus.
making this episode, we've gained a new follower on SoundCloud, so congrats us.
Yay!
hey,
Oh,
See?
again,
You
sorry
were
to
growing
burst
every
your
day.
guys' bubble, but that's actually me because I finally just
God.
downloaded the SoundCloud.
Broken
downloaded-
fucking dreams.
I downloaded this. I literally, as we were like talking for like the first 10 minutes, I was on my phone downloading the SoundCloud app, and then I was like, "Oh shit, I have to make an account." So I made an account, and I just like followed us.
oh my god.
Dreams ruined.
Yeah,
Ruined.
fuck
Four,
you.
XCast has 4 followers. I wonder who they are.
Woo.
That's insane.
Oh man, that'd be
We're
funny.
growing.
Wait, doesn't XCast have like a few more than 4?
That's definitely a few more than 4.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah,
There's a
way
couple.
More than 4.
Oh man, the only problem is Ezekiel. Hey, come June, Ezekiel will be available.
For some
Yeah.
road tripping,
It's true.
right?
Tripping.
Road
Yeah.
tripping?
Road tripping, dude.
Yeah,
I got
that would be
him. I
that
got
would
him.
be an interesting podcast if like when we all like if this road trip actually commences and we all get together in one spot and we're able to do like a sit down podcast and all
Which-
talk
Fucking
like.
awesome.
Well, here's kind of the plan for March, because Dandy is planning to make a road trip down here March 24th to 25th. We're planning to do a special podcast that day where Dandy and I'll be on one end, and Ryan, you'll be sitting on the other, and hopefully Hazikis, you might be able to join us via Skype as well.
Yeah.
And then Hazikis, you're saying you would probably be able to come down in March, or sorry, not March, June.
Yeah.
The idea that's kind of just floating around right now is if we can plan it well enough, Ryan might fly out here. And all four of us,
Oh, really?
all four of us, will have the first ever episode of the XCast podcast live.
Whoa! Insane!
I might even get a wacky, wavable, flailing arm, flailing tube man.
Oh,
Dude,
no,
Ryan,
I'm good
freaking
enough.
do
Trust
that.
me, I'll start headbutting shit because I'm pretty much one of those.
And
Freaking
swear
do
to
that,
God,
man.
Ryan, you fucking
Do
break a
it?
chair.
I'll try, man.
Yeah.
I'll try.
If you could fly out here, man, crap. If you could fly out here to freaking Flax. If you could fly over there to his place, I will get me and Ezekias and drive over there.
Of course, that's how
I'll
it
try.
works.
I'll see.
I mean,
we'll see what
I'm
happens.
sure we could all help out each other with the fucking finances a little bit, here and there.
Yeah.
And if we get the plane ticket soon enough, it'll be cheap.
Oh yeah.
But we can't wait to the last minute to fucking buy that plane ticket.
It's very true.
Because let's
Be a
face it,
horrible
ain't none of us got money, no time for that.
Exactly.
Ain't none of us got no time, but all of us got a taste for bacon, and bacon is big.
Bacon. It's gonna be so weird, like
Awkward.
recording it.
It's gonna be weird and awkward at first. But we're gonna have to take a day to get acclimated to be seeing each other in person.
Yeah, we're gonna really. Hey,
That's
okay.
gonna-
First
You
off,
guys are gonna be so disappointed when you see me. Like
Oh,
you're
I'm
gonna be
already
surprised I'm
disappointed
even
whenever I
like.
see you. I mean, what?
Yeah, man. I mean, we've already seen each other a little bit on the Skype video
Yeah.
calls, so
Yeah.
we're already disappointed with each other.
yeah,
Right,
I've got Joe on Facebook, so I know what he looks like already, and he knows what he already knows what my fat ass looks like.
Yeah,
I
that's
hang out
that's the thing that I'm gonna be fucking weirded out by. Is like, no offense, but you're not a small dude, Dandy. I, however, on the other hand, am.
Yeah, so am I. Like me and him, Dandy came over earlier today. We were hanging out, and I mentioned to him, it's like, yeah, dude, like I'm 5'9", and
Dude, we're
you
gonna
tower
look like one
over
of those
me.
fucking evolution charts.
Jesus Christ, if he fucking towers over you and you're 5'9", I'm gonna be a fucking dwarf. A goddamn gnome. He's gonna have to watch where he fucking steps. Oh shit, I just stepped on him.
That little dwarf sucks a mean dick.
Oh my, Mr. Rodriguez.
Oh man.
Oh god.
Oh gosh, but
Oh, God, no.
Dude, Ryan, for real though, Ryan, if you could actually, I mean, if it was possible, later in the summer, if you were able to get a plane ticket and fly out here to Flax, I'll get me and Hezekiah, since he'll be free. I'll get me and Hezekiah, and we'll drive over there and actually spend a day where we can all finally see each other and hang out with each other. It'll be awesome. And then we'll finally do a live freaking XCast. That would be awesome.
Recorded.
Yeah, I mean, of
Bring
course,
my
Ryan's
camera
probably
and
going to be
tripod.
out here for more than like a fucking day or two. Like, I mean, we're not paying a plane ticket for a fucking day or two. Fuck that shit.
No.
If he's flying
4 or
out here,
5
he'll be
days.
like, 4 or 5 days.
Yeah,
At some
to.
point in those 4 or 5 days, me and Joe are going to be trying to convince Dandy and Ryan to go to a gay club.
Oh God, no.
No, sorry. No,
You
I'm
have
good,
to
man.
kill me
Oh
and
my
drag my
God.
fucking corpse.
Sorry,
to
man.
even get
Sorry,
me.
man.
my
Can't do
God.
it.
Oh,
I know, I don't.
God.
Sorry, man.
No.
Zacchaeus, I'm driving,
No,
man.
dude, no.
No way.
No.
Bitch, I took auto mechanics. I can disable your car in a minute.
No.
Good thing
No.
I flew here. Am I
You better
right?
start
TSA
walking.
would have your ass locked down in an instant.
Oh,
Fuck
you know
you.
what's the funny thing is that you'd end up having to walk, 12 to 20 miles back to the fucking airport with your luggage, and then hop on a
worth
fucking
it.
plane. Probably. I guess it'd probably take you a day or two to walk there.
Yeah, I'll just use my 5th day to walk to the airport. All right, see you guys going home later.
Rip, GG, I'm out.
No, but honestly, I don't want to go. I just no. To be honest, I would feel very uncomfortable for one obvious reason, and then a second reason is I don't like. I've never been to a club or anything, but I don't ever want to.
Well,
go.
that's the other problem is that all the clubs around here you have to be 21 or older to get into.
Correct. So I have an excuse. Sucks for you, Eric. Have fun.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I never went to like I went to like a couple bars here and there, but I've never been to like an actual club in my area until like I went to like all of them in one night.
All of them.
Oh my god.
One of the like biggest ones in our area, like the biggest club that we have, is conveniently a gay bar. It's a gay club.
Oh my god.
Of course. Like the gay clubs are always the hopping places in any town.
And I gotta say, it was fucking fun. I had so much fun there.
You'll have number one, you'll have guys buying you drinks.
Right? That's a bonus.
That's a bonus.
Free drinks.
Right there. Free drinks. But like the one problem I do have with the gay club here in Kansas City is like it is horrifyingly cliquey. So you gotta be careful with it there, and
I just don't like.
It's
clubs.
good if you're.
I've never been to one though. I just
so you can't really You can't really give an opinion if you haven't been to one. So.
But I don't want to go to one. That's the thing. I hate giant groups of fucking random people like that, dude. I would die of an anxiety attack at the door.
Yeah, you like to go to concerts? That makes no sense. Okay.
I've been to a couple concerts, yeah, but I've always been kind of like in the outskirts so I could wander off if I needed to.
Well, you can just sit on the fucking smoking patio all night then. It's chill out there.
If I get the chance, funny story that happened when when I went to this gay club, standing in line for the restrooms with a friend of mine, and like me and him we're both straight and everything. Anyways, me and my straight friend, we're both straight, obviously. We're both standing in line by ourselves.
I was so confused.
Yeah, I know you were confused. You always are confused.
Yeah, that's why he wears the horse mask.
Sorry. Later, guys. You got me. I'm just later.
And he's gone.
There he goes. He's gone.
And what you're saying, Hezekiah?
So, I can't remember obviously what the joke was that we were making, but somehow it ended up with me taking my shirt and tying it in a knot, like crisscross knot, whatever, across my chest or whatever.
So you had a fucking cut off?
Yeah, basically. And like right away, this really, really flamboyant individual comes walking out of the men's restroom, and like just caught eye contact and like was eyeing my body and everything, and I just like immediately undid my shirt.
You're just like, oh god, no.
He was just the first thing he says is like, he's like, "Oh no, it's okay, hon. Don't be ashamed of your hairy body." Because
dude, I would have like power walked the fuck out of there. After that, I was like, oh god,
fuck this shit, I'm out.
I was like, oh, don't worry.
Like, oh, God.
I returned the favor. I was like, don't worry, hon. I'm not ashamed of my hairy body.
Oh my god.
You weren't raped because that's how you get raped. No.
Oh my god, Dandy, I'm going to punch you for that when you get here and just watch my arm get swallowed by your fat. But two,
my
I'm just kidding.
Dude,
and two,
you need to walk away from that
one. And two, that is why you always go to a gay club with a gay guy, because they can run interference.
That's true. You could be my shield, so
well,
I could like,
it was kind of ironic
like,
because everybody that I went to the club with was straight. Like we were going
that's
out.
The thing about gay clubs is that so many straight people go there as well, because the gay clubs are always the place that has the top music, the best drink, and the people are just all there to have fun. And the gay guys that are there to look for sex, they know who's available. So, you can actually pick up some pretty hot straight chicks in a gay bar. Which, for you three, doesn't really matter anymore. Nope. So,
I could give a shit less.
But
us damn breeders, being all monogamous.
Damn us.
Flaunting your straight shit in my face. How careless of you. How You're fucking triggering me. I'm fucking triggered.
You fucking triggered, dude?
I'm fucking triggered,
Is this
dude. I'm fucking triggered.
This is
This is the Joe Triggered
Joe triggering.
podcast.
Yeah. The
Trigger Joe.
Oh. Well,
Sorry,
shall
I'm
we
in,
move
like,
on to...
a fantastic relationship, jeez.
Yeah, fuck
Triggered,
you
dude?
and your fantastic relationship, fucker. But we are about 40 minutes in, so I
Keep
think we
it
should
short.
probably move on to... What the
Burping?
fuck have we been playing?
Finally. Oh man.
Was I the only... Like, we have gone through why the fuck we haven't been able to play or do a podcast and story time, then talking about gay clubs. So let's actually do part of the XCast
Oh my
podcast
God.
now and talk about what we've been playing lately.
Well, I mean, dude, who's gonna start off? I'll tell you what.
Ubisoft's most broken piece of shit that has
Hey!
hit the market.
Hey, I will at least give For Honor a little bit more than what you give it.
All
Because
right,
even
I'll
though-
give it 5 broken cliff pushes out of 10 people who actually play correctly.
Before we, I know you two, you're gonna be like on this topic for like the next hour. So I'll just cut in real quick and say that because of my Xbox Live issues, I've just been finally trying to beat Far Cry Primal. I've had financial issues, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go back and play a game I never beat. And I was like, the
Yeah,
first
dude.
game that came up was like
Yeah,
Far
dude.
Cry Primal.
Okay, I haven't even played it. So. Who the fuck just
Sorry.
Anakin.
Sorry.
Who the fuck is
Anakin.
playing with their lightsabers? Stop
leave
it.
Sorry.
the young ones alone? You don't need to keep fucking slaughtering them. Jesus. I
When
have
you're
the
a
high
level
ground now.
when
But
you're,
Anakin-
when you're a high level and you return to a low level area.
Yeah. You were supposed to destroy them, not join them.
I wanted
But
to join
anyway,
them.
Zykius and his Far Cry Primal. By the way, I've put a ton of hours into Far Cry Primal. Great game. Freaking me and Ryan. I know we've been playing. We've been playing a lot of For Honor. Not only is it hot on Twitch right now, but it's freaking. Okay. First off, it's a fun. I think it's a fun game. I think it's really fun. And I don't care what you say. Yes, it has some issues to work out. Yes, it's got some bugs. Yes, it's got some patches that it desperately needs. But that's what happens when you have an internet-only game. You know, I mean, there's going to be some patches. Now, granted, I kind of
I
wish
got a
that
question. What does internet only have to do with a lot of it?
Well, because if you need internet to access the game, you even need internet to play the campaign. With games like Far Cry, you don't need an internet. Like, you don't need any of that stuff. It's all on the disc.
Well,
But
Also-
Overwatch is also an online-only game, and it didn't have as many problems.
Well,
as
that's
For
because
Honor did, so-
Blizzard is, the fucking gods of creating amazing games.
Well, I'm also just using it as an example.
But for the most part, when game developers are creating games and they end up making a online-only game, the only chance that they'd get to, to test their game is in a, fucking game studio where they have, the world's best internet. So, which is why they usually send out betas for games. But I didn't see a beta for Honor. Was there?
Oh, there was like
There was an open beta.
Oh, okay, I must have missed that then.
There was an open beta for like 3 days.
Well, 3 days apparently wasn't enough.
Yeah, and apparently it was not enough to even have them understand how servers work.
Okay. First off, with For Honor, up front, it's addicting. Once you get on a good kill streak, the duels, the brawls, the freaking Dominion battles, it's a fun ass game. The only thing that sucks is when you'll have out of 5 matches, 3 matches you play will either have people that quit early, complete douchebags, or connection issues.
And then 1 game out of that 3 you'll actually finish because you won't get disconnected.
Hey, I only got disconnected from probably like 4 games out of the several hundred games I've played already. So I can't really.
7?
I've not. Hey, I've played
Come
a
on,
lot
you're
of games,
always on Netflix or YouTube whenever the fuck I ever get on. So when the hell are you playing any of these games? is my
dude.
question.
Whenever you're not on.
I am usually, granted, I'm usually just on Netflix right now because by the time I get home from work, I'm just brain dead. So my body just shuts down when I get home. So usually I'm just on Netflix. But every time I'm on, I always see you on fucking Netflix or YouTube. Never anything else.
Because usually I play a game for like 2.5 or 3 straight hours of no interference, of just straight gameplay, usually by myself. Now when I have
by
more
straight
friends,
gameplay, he means watching straight gameplay on YouTube. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. By the way, those are rookie numbers. You got to pump those up.
I used to play for 8 hours at a time, man. I used to be a freaking massive into it gamer. But the only problem is, dude, with me teaching bass and with all their stuff with 2 bands I gotta play for, dude. I got life. I got life in the ways, dude. So I gotta make time for sleep.
You got a waifu? I mean, shit.
Don't say that word.
Why does
waifu?
that fucking trigger you, dude?
Oh, by the way, Dandy, when is your birthday?
She's not a wife.
That's not what it fucking means. Oh my! How many times do we have to explain this to you?
Trigger.
Listen,
triggered,
you
triggered.
faction with the samurai, you fucking weeb. You should know what it means.
Fucking weeb.
I bring great honor to my family. All right.
Weebs
Oh
in my
God.
holy
The
land? Are you
racism in
sure
this
about
fucking
that?
podcast.
Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your family. Dishonor on your cow.
At least I'll
Basically-
be in Valhalla while the weebs
Okay.
burn.
You are a raider.
Okay.
Legendary.
Legendary.
To get back to the freaking topic, I think For Honor is a very, very big breath of fresh air away from first-person shooters. It's got
Breath
great
of fresh
game.
air and then a punch to the gut. Honestly.
Anyway, all right. Let me finish. Let me at least give it some freaking dignity before you come along and be like, "Oh, I hate it." When you drop freaking $60 retail on it yourself, freaking turd.
buy it.
Anyway, what?
I didn't buy it.
He got it as a
pre-ordered it.
gift.
I got it as a gift.
Oh, whoever got it for you dropped $60.
I know, and like I said before, I really like the game. It's got a lot of issues that are pretty apparent and like infuriating, like balancing problems and the connection.
Oh, the balancing, yeah. Well, the balancing, I'll get back to that in a second. But I mean, so far I'm like probably 75% into the campaign. I've only got the samurai campaign to go, but the campaign itself is actually pretty cool. There's a lot of scenarios that kind of like have qualities of the multiplayer as what you would play on the multiplayer side, like, oh, take over these bases, I'll kill this many people, all this and that, and then there's a story behind it. So with campaign, with that, I wish they kind of steered into more originality with how they did their campaign. Other than that, the story is pretty freaking cool. So the campaign itself is pretty good, but I didn't get it for the campaign. I knew the campaign was going to be badass, but I did not get it for the campaign. I got it strictly because of the multiplayer itself. This is probably the only game that I got for the multiplayer. It's fast-paced. It's intense, especially duels. Now, duels are cool because obviously it's one-on-one.
Nice.
Yeah, it's one-on-one. There's nothing interfering. It's just you and the other guy. Now, it could go one or two ways. One, you and him could have a very honorable fight. There's no cheating. There's no bullshit. And you pretty much have you swing at each other. You defend. You parry. You switch positions. You have a legit sword fight, and it's all about whose skill defeats who. And you have a pretty honorable
I'd like
fight.
to describe number 2 because this happens.
Yeah.
So many innuendos in that one statement you just made.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Moving on.
Man, I can't go one explanation without labeling something sexual. Good Lord.
Because everything's sexual.
Life is sexual, man.
Well,
You know what?
anyway,
Haven't you heard?
people
We're all
play
getting
very
fucked
fair.
by life.
Right, dude?
Yeah.
Anyway, either everyone plays fair in there, or very honorably, or you can immediately start the match and get thrown off the cliff in 5 seconds. Every time.
Yeah. If you're
Just
standing
thrown
by a
off a
cliff,
cliff.
if you're standing by a cliff, they can throw you off and just die. Yeah.
Even if you're not standing off near a cliff, they'll just push you to it and throw you off regardless.
That sucks. And then you'll have those like freaking turds that are always hitting you with like the bleeding moves or the poisoning moves and just kind of like avoiding you the entire.
Because if
Yeah,
they
then
know
they run
they
away.
can't do that, they run away.
Exactly, and that's what sucks. There's complete effing like just complete effing bullshit with the people had taken little stabs and then going away. Taking little stabs and then going away. They're not actually
the
getting in there and using
assassins
some
need
strategy.
some balancing. Besides the berserker, he's pretty fine. Like, there's not really any problems with him at all. It's the Orochi who has a bit of issues. The Nobushi has some pretty big issues, by the way, or at least with how people play it. It's just poke, bleed you, and run away. And then the Peacekeeper has a lot of issues.
The Peacekeeper's got some, but I wouldn't say it's got a lot. I mean, it's got
a
some.
lot. I've been commando lunged quite a lot, and then there's been a couple times where a standard attack can be unblockable for some reason.
Yeah, no, man. The freaking what's the name of the hero with the pokey stick?
The Nobushi.
The Nobushi.
Oh my god, the fucking pokey stick.
It's a pokey stick.
Like that pokey stick.
It's a pokey stick, dude.
Okay. Anyway, those guys. I have not faced one opponent who did not use a kind of stab with a poisoning move and then walk away. I've not faced one opponent. Yeah, I've not faced one opponent that has done that. They could have gone the entire game without pulling that character out, or at least make that character DLC or something like that.
It's pretty OP.
Yeah, for sure. And freaking, I mean, there are some of the other heroes have some issues. I'll give them that. However, Warden's not bad.
Some of them are fine.
The Orochi. The Orochi, hey, you can say all you want about the Orochi. Oroshi's my freaking bread and butter. That's where I freaking try.
Too bad. There might be something.
Butter your bread.
There might be something in there fixing, but I might just be thinking of a different character.
So based on what you guys are talking about, like it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, this sounds like basically like a newer version of the old school Dynasty Warrior games.
It's basically
in a way.
It's the poor man's Mountain Blade.
Okay.
Well, wouldn't it not be a poor man's Mountain Blade if it's $60 a fucking pop though?
It's a poor man's Mountain Blade because if you're playing it on console like we are, then clearly you're the poor man. You don't have a good enough PC to play Mountain Blade.
All right. What I like about it though. Oops, sorry, I didn't interrupt you. Oh, do you want to go ahead?
Oh, I was just going to try moving us on to another subject of maybe what I've been playing.
Well, I'm just going to finish this up real quick. What I like about For Honor, I mean, it's not guns, and not having any guns is awesome.
About that? You can get shot.
You can get shot with a bow.
Oh,
or a knife.
no.
Oh god! But the problem with the bow is it shoots pretty goddamn quick, like it's a gun, dude.
Well, here's the other question I have for you, Dandy. Have you ever been shot with a bow?
I've been shot with a blow dart, if that counts.
No. That doesn't count.
What the fuck? Was a ninja trying to assassinate you? Did he put you down and kidnap you?
No, personal friend had a big hunting blowpipe, like a one of those things like you hunt squirrels and little rabbits with. He shot me with one of those. Shot me with one of the darts.
What a dick for doing that, then, I guess.
Well, while you're here, Dandy, we'll head on out to the park, and I'll shoot you with a bow and arrow. See how you like that.
Oh, God. Just put an apple on his head.
Just put an apple on his... No. I'll go for a gut shot, because, at least...
Oh, my God.
At least that'll hurt a little less,
Leave him away from the internal organs there.
Yeah.
Leave it to the gay man to dream about killing a fat man. Ugh.
What? That makes no sense. Yeah, really. Like, come on.
I'm confused.
Yeah, I'm confused too.
All I kept thinking about was Patrick, the fat guy strangler from Family Guy.
Oh yeah, the fat guy strangler.
Oh man.
Let's see.
Anyway,
what have I been playing lately? I finally got around to, after playing Battlefield 1 forever, I finally decided to take a break and went ahead and...
What?
Yes. I know. Once I reached my level 10 pilot class, it was just kind of more or less shooting fish in a barrel with that anymore. So it kind of got a little slow. But
thank you for realizing one of the reasons why.
But as soon as the DLC hits again, then I'm going to be on that game like crack cocaine.
Oh yeah, with the French.
You sure about that? Because we can play Civ and stuff now.
Oh, I'll still try and find time for that. But you also have to remember I'm working on coding and also dealing with work and trying to find time to play video games. It's gonna be pick or choose.
It's true.
But I finally decided to buy Titanfall 2 because I really enjoyed the alpha tech test when I played it.
That's a good game.
So, yeah, I played it and played through the campaign first, and the campaign was actually really good.
Yeah, it was.
I felt it could have used a little more development in parts, but at the same time, it was a really good, well thought out and written campaign. And the multiplayer. Oh, go ahead.
I mean, I was gonna say. I mean, I beat the campaign twice. Big Titanfall fan. I am at least big Titanfall fan, and I gotta say I've never seen a campaign that made me care about a giant robot so much.
Have you played Recore? No, I'm just kidding.
Did you say Recore?
Nobody likes Recore.
And somebody forgot to mute their phone.
Oh, my bad.
We can't do anything right, people. We just can't. So
I thought
we're sorry.
I did.
We're sorry. We're you know, you're an idiot.
I'm very.
I almost called. You were so bad. You were so retarded right there. I almost called you corn.
Whoa. Whoa. So I thought. My bad. I thought it was muted. I was texting my girlfriend.
You and your sexting during podcasts, dirty breeder.
You know it, dude.
Oh my
breeder?
God.
Is that what you call breeders?
Yes, I call you fuckers breeders. All you're good for is making spawn. That's it.
What are we in a Mad Max flick?
Yes.
Back on topic. I was just googling because
don't you talk. Don't you talk, you dirty boy.
Anyways, I was just looking up because, like, you were mentioning how, because the first Titanfall, I mean, I played a little bit of it. I haven't played any of the second Titanfall yet, but the first Titanfall didn't have a campaign at all.
Well, it did have a campaign, but it was a multiplayer-driven campaign. So the way the campaign would play out would change no matter, depending on what side you ended up on during the multiplayer match.
Right.
It was an interesting concept, and it was still fun. However, I think you lost out on a lot of the background that you kind of would want when you were going into the second game with a full-fledged single-player campaign.
Well, what I was looking at, though, was, like, because you were saying, like, a Titanfall 2 campaign could have used, like, some development more, even though it was good. So I was kind of wondering, I couldn't remember for the life of me who created Titanfall. So other than
Respawn
EA,
Entertainment, which was the division that broke off from Activision and Infinity Ward. Yeah.
Yeah, I just googled that. They broke off before 2010.
Yep.
Before the train derailed.
Derailed. Speaking of train derailments, switching topics real quick. We'll probably come back to Titanfall 2 a little bit later because, honestly, though, the campaign was good. Could use a little more development, in my opinion. But, that's just me. You better keep hitting that vape, Ezekiel.
Sorry, I forgot to mute this time.
We don't want you to die. We don't want you to die, man. We still want you with us. But, multiplayer is still fun as fuck. It's a really enjoyable game to play, especially when you've been playing Battlefield and you have to employ tactics and strategy all the time when you're playing Battlefield, where you can just hop on Titanfall, run and jump up the side of a fucking building, grapple onto a fucking string, and then just fly around the map and just shoot the shit out of everything and not have to worry about... You can just kind of run and gun on Titanfall, which is a nice, relaxing kind of game when you've been playing Battlefield. And you
Sounds like a pretty good Transformers film idea. You should give that to Michael Bay. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah, it is how it is. Well, some games of Titanfall, it looks like a fucking Michael Bay movie, but it is whatever. But moving on to something I'm sure all of us are going to be looking forward to talking about over the next year is, talked to you about this a little bit, Ryan, over the phone a while ago, is how a news story came out recently about how Activision is finally admitting of how shitty a game they made.
About time.
Yeah,
which one?
Which one?
Which one?
Reasonable question, but at the same time, it's just kind of like the last one.
Let's see. Infinite Warfare, Black Ops 3, Advanced Warfare.
So Activision's actually coming out and apologizing for making a crappy game.
No, they're not apologizing.
They're not apologizing for it,
This
which
is
makes it
Activision.
even better.
They're not apologizing. They're like, hey, we're sorry. They're like, hey, we messed up. Oh, and by the way, please buy all of the supply crates you can with as much money as you make in your entire existence. So we can have your money in COD 4 so we can ruin your game. All right, have fun.
And also, make sure you buy our next game, because we're sure it's going to be better.
We ruined Call of Duty 4. You said we couldn't do it, but we showed you we could.
Yeah, you thought, just when you thought we couldn't ruin it anymore, we did.
You fucked it up completely.
And,
hey, we should add microtransactions. Fuck yeah.
Oh.
Well, and
no microtransactions, please.
Oh, they're gonna add microtransactions.
No, it's in COD 4. It's in there.
Is it really?
It's in there. It's in Modern Warfare Remastered. It's in there.
Oh my god! Like,
they have
seriously,
supply
why?
drops and all that shit in there.
Why?
Because they want money.
Oh man.
Well, I haven't. I'll have my 2 cents on the subject because I haven't gotten an Infinite Warfare yet, which I kind of do want to. If it's cheap, I'm gonna get it. But what I did, like within the first week, one of my friends had it, and I went over to his place because I love zombies. I have my absolute hatred for Black Ops 3 zombies, but all the other games zombies, I love them all. So I went over and played the Infinite Warfare zombies, and I gotta say, it was actually really fucking fun, and it wasn't like, a complete like switch up or anything. It was almost like a perfect combination of what was awesome about Advanced Warfare zombies with what was amazing and classic about Black Ops zombies. It was like the perfect combination, in my opinion.
See, the problem I have with that, just my kind of 2 cents, is that the fact that Infinity Ward is even doing zombies is kind of, for me, a personal offense to the original Treyarch creators of the original zombies. Like, in my opinion, it should have been Treyarch.
They're just cash cowing it now.
Yeah, they're just cash cowing
money grubbing whore.
And Treyarch, in my opinion, Treyarch should be the ones that just took care of the zombies. And when Infinity Ward came out in Modern Warfare 3 with the survival mode, they should have kept that going. And Sledgehammer Games should have come up with their own kind of specialty kind of mode. And they should have had their 3 own things, and that would have added a certain element to each one of those games that could have given it a little bit of breathing life into it.
And now they say they're going to keep it boots on the ground, but knowing them right now, they're going to fuck it up.
Well, they didn't actually say they're going to keep it boots on the ground. They're going to say, they've said it's going to have boots on the ground element to it.
Emphasis on element, because they're going to fuck it up. They're like, they don't want boosts, so they only get rid of the boosts, but everything else is going to be it.
Yeah, that's my thing. They say it's going to have a boots on the ground element, but unless it's going to be back set, because what they really need to do to revive it is they need to take a huge step back in time, and they need to
take a break for 4 years.
And they need to go back and remaster
take a break.
A lot of the older Call of Duties.
They just did that, and you know what they did? They fucked it up.
Yeah. But
do you want them to keep doing that?
Well, that's
they will. They'd be more than happy to take your money.
They'll be more than willing to fuck up that game, or the old games, and just make them even worse. But on the flip side, it'll buy them time to sit back and think what they actually need to do, and actually reach out to their fan base, or the ones that they lost, and figure out what they want. Will they do that? No, because they're money-grubbing whores, and they know if they don't put a game out every year, they're going to lose a lot of money, and they're going to make a lot of 12-year-olds angry.
And you just need to take a fucking break, because they are already tarnished the reputation of everyone's favorite.
Between Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, there was, a 3 to 4 year gap. Between Battlefield 4...
Oh, no.
Yeah, there was
I don't think there was.
There was like a 3 to 4 year...
Battlefield 4 seemed like it came out way quicker than it needed to.
I don't think it did, because Battlefield 3 came out around 2009. Battlefield 4 came out around, I think it was like 2012 or 2013. And Battlefield 1 came out last year. Battlefield and EA with Battlefield have a proven thing that if
Battlefield 3 came out October of 2011.
Oh, really? Did it? I thought it came out
Yeah.
2009.
Man.
No,
thought
that's
it came
what
out
I'm
around the
saying
same
is
time
they
as-
came out way too quick.
Oh,
They messed it
I
up.
always thought it came out around the same time as Modern Warfare 2. Because
No, they roughly had about a year and a half. They had a really short time.
That's interesting,
Battlefield
because
4 came out in 2013, which granted is 2 years, but if you look at the development time, that is no time at all.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
when you look at the development time for a game like Battlefield 4, where there were so many options, so many customization, so much customization, and all the shit that they did with it, yeah, 2 years was definitely
Yeah, it
not
came
enough
out-
time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It came out too
But-
quick. It came out at a very short time.
I think if they had done the same amount of development time between Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 1, yeah, that would have been fine with the... Granted, yes, I'll admit there's a lot of, they could have put more weapons in, but at the same time, they're working in an era where a lot of the weapons that, are there, a lot of them were experimental, a lot of them were,
They're adding
widely
weapons
used.
right now
And then, yeah, but they're adding weapons and shit.
that you're gonna have to pay for.
Well, of course. I mean, it's EA. What else do you expect?
Nothing less.
Do you expect them to give free shit away like Bungie does? Or I'm sorry, 343.
I wish.
I'm sorry, 343.
I wish everyone should take up that example.
Well, yeah, every gamer can wish that every fucking company out there would take up the example and, give you a full game and the DLC's free.
Exactly.
Instead of giving you a fucking third of a game and then making you pay for $60 for a third of a game and then making you pay another $60 for the rest of the, 2/3.
It's ridiculous.
It really is.
Now-
I mean,
The argument I do have for Battlefield 1 is that the whole game is set in 1918. And you were saying, well, why weren't the French and Russians included in the beginning of the game to begin with? My argument to that is that in that period in World War I, the Russians had fallen out and were dealing with a Bolshevik revolution by 1918 because I believe they left the war around 1916, 1917. And by the time the British and American troops came in full force, the French had kind of taken more of a backseat role in the war. So by the end of the war, the British and the American forces were fighting the German and Ottoman Empire by themselves. So there was no need to really put in the French forces to begin with, nor was there even a real reason to put in the Russians when they weren't even involved by that point. So that's the only argument I do have against them putting it in, which I'm glad they kind of stuck to the historical accuracy like that. But on the flip side, yes, it would have been better to have all those weapons and all those factions available in the first place. Yes, it would have been better to have just a couple more maps, but at the same time, the map development for the game mode, the operations game mode, the controls for especially flying, they did an amazing job. And especially the fact that the game launched with little to no glitches and server downtime was fucking amazing.
It was good on their part. Definitely.
They definitely did a much better launch with Battlefield 1 than they did with Battlefield 4.
Anything
Because
else.
Battlefield 4 was a giant fucking clusterfuck when it came to the launch, especially when it came to multiplayer. Like, you couldn't really get and play a full match of Battlefield 4 without the game freezing or crashing or the server going down.
So
for,
here's
like, months.
what I have to say about your historical accuracy, and this is why I said they should have been in the game. I looked it up because I was curious. Like because I remember seeing something other than 1918, and I looked it up because I was like, I wonder if it is only in 1918. The earliest it goes is 1915. 1915 to 1918.
Every time you die in the game, it would pop up,
1918.
1918.
However, the runner mission takes place in 1950, and the Gallipoli
Really?
campaign. Yep.
Because the Gallipoli campaign kind of ran throughout the entire war. The latest battle, I believe the last battle of the Gallipoli campaign was around 1917, 1918.
It was like the
But-
beginning. It was like 1915.
So yeah, I mean the beginning of it might have been towards 1915, but from the way the missions or not predicted or oh shoot, what's the word? They not promoted,
Placed
but they placed it, the way, I guess that's kind of in the general realm of what I'm trying to say. The way they kind of placed it, or made you perceive it, it looked like it had been the Gallipoli campaign that they were taking part in had been going on for quite a while.
Right, they made it seem like they've been there forever.
That is a bit deceiving. And
yeah, so that's,
granted,
I told you, I remember seeing something that it's not just 1918.
Now, I could see your argument there, but at the same time, when you're playing online, you're not taking part in any other time era than 1918.
It doesn't have a time period, which is my point.
Well, you can tell it's 1918.
How exactly?
Well, number one, a lot of the aircraft doesn't appear until around the late eras of the war. A lot of that aircraft wasn't available in 1915.
Well, you realize people who are playing Battlefield aren't really going to give a shit. It's just the fact that, like, it's not just 1918, and since they have basically the whole war to go on, they can put the factions in regardless and limit the maps. Like, the French can be limited to, like, no aircraft and stuff on it. You know what I mean? Like, they could make it still true to the time period by putting them on specific maps with specific vehicles not there.
I'm not saying it's a perfect game. Yes, it could be better, but I'm just saying that for its launch, for the historical accuracy, they could have added more shit in. But if you think about it, if they had added in a whole bunch of shit, what are the chances of all that shit fucking up even more? Like, if they launched with this little bit of shit and made sure the time they saved by not adding in all that shit, they instead spent on making sure the servers worked correctly, there were no glitches, there were no bugs that were going to cause the game to crash.
That was Dice LA. Dice LA did that for like 2 years.
Yeah, would you rather them take that? Would you rather had them take that time instead and add in more, more shit, or make sure that you could actually play the game online when you wanted to when it started?
More shit, because their servers were already being worked on by Dice LA for a while.
Regardless, I'm just saying, it's just kind of like a trade-off, because, the more people you have on one thing, you're going to have to move some of them off to work on another thing.
The way I look at it is, the more content, the longer the longevity. Like, yeah, the server issues would be annoying, but they can be resolved.
Right,
Once
but at
resolved,
the same time, we're also boiling it down to... We're boiling it down to what the gamers want versus what the company wants, which the company, all they want. And yes, they want to create an incredible game, which they did. They made an incredible game. But they still want money. And that's what it boils down to.
It's always about money.
So
it's always about that dollar.
The company would want to add less, but give more in DLC.
Exactly, because that's what every company's doing these days.
So you're siding with that?
I'm not siding with that. I'm saying the game was brilliant for what it is. Could it be better? Yes. Do I agree with the way they're doing it? No.
Okay, because I was about to say, like, we were still talking about content over their connection. Because it was like, look at Battlefield 4. It had hiccups in the beginning and everything, yeah, but the content is insane.
Yeah, it didn't have
DLC
content.
or
like
no,
it had hiccups. It didn't have just hiccups. It had major game crashes, major glitches that fucking ruined the game for like the first 3 months of it. And for the first month, like for the first month, you can.
360.
And that was the other issue too. Is like the 360 wasn't built to handle that kind of game.
Exactly.
And yet
once it moved up a platform, it was a lot better.
That was the other thing is that even when it did move up a platform, there was still a lot of bugs and glitches with it. And the move up didn't happen for a little while. Like, it was, I think, 4 months before it actually finally moved up to the Xbox One?
Yeah, I don't know why it took so long.
Well, the thing of it is I don't think the Xbox One had been released yet.
That's right, I think so.
And they still wanted to release the game that quarter to compete with whatever Call of Duty was coming out with. And
still beat them.
Yeah, of course they still beat them. But they wanted to release it to compete with that, but in order to do that, they had to backwards compat the game after it had been developed for a console like Xbox One.
Right. Basically, They launched at the worst time possible.
Yeah, had they waited a few more months and made it a
Then it
launch
would've been
bundle
perfect.
with the Xbox One, it
And
would
I
have been
think
perfect.
Star Wars Battlefront and some parts of Battlefield 1 would have had a lot more to it.
They could have added in a decent bit more for launch, but I'm excited to see what they come up with next.
Including the French army.
Yeah, including the French and the Russians.
The only thing, like, the thing that they do really need to do is they cannot leave it at just the 4 operations missions that you have now. They need to be making sure
they need to find a system to keep people wanting more, because obviously everyone by now has mastered all their classes.
Right.
Like, they don't need just weapons. They need something to keep you there to want to get something.
Well,
that's why people play games a lot, they want that reward.
Well, I mean, they've started bringing back. With the winter update. They've brought back the ribbon system, and which
I don't remember what ribbons even did.
Well, the ribbons would give you, like, in Battlefield 4, like you could get bonus XP and also like specialty weapons, because, like, remember the ribbon system in Battlefield 4.
Some of them were DLC.
Yeah, some of them were DLC, but a lot of them were just in-game, like, to begin with. So,
what can you get out of these, like, weapon skins?
I don't know. I think weapon skin, bonus XP, squad boost XP things.
That's good. I'm surprised they didn't do that to begin with. That's another thing. Like, they knew...
Well, see, the problem I always had with the boost XP system in Battlefield 4 is that you, like... You had so many of them that you'd end up, never use.
It kept you there.
It kept you kind of playing, but at the same time, it was just like, I've got so many of them, I'd even just forget to even put them on, just because it's like, I just couldn't constantly be putting them on and then forget, oh wait, I didn't put another one on, and I finally got tired of putting them on because it was just, I kept forgetting about it, and it was,
Still, it was a great idea to keep you there.
And the ribbon system is a great idea, and what they really need to do is, if they're going to be adding in so much, there are so many different weapon skins for the battle packs, they need to make sure you're getting more than just one per battle pack.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be getting more than just one per battle pack, because sometimes...
Fix the battle pack drops.
Yeah, the battle pack drops could be a little bit better. The, ribbon system making comeback is a good idea. There just needs to be more challenges other than just the medal hunt that you get, which that is one of the biggest features of the game. Is a nightmare, and it's broken as fuck.
See, like, this is why I said I had Battlefront-itis with that game. Like, there's still more in it than, of course, Battlefront did, and it was fucking cool as shit. But eventually it all withers and died out. Like, after a while, there was nothing to look forward to.
Like, the game itself is still fun. Like, I still want to go and play it. It needs more to it.
It needs more. We've said this before, EA. How did you still manage to not put enough?
Yeah,
I'm just listening.
Yeah, it just needs more.
It needs more. Way to Battlefront this again, except not as bad.
Yeah, I mean, it could have definitely been a hell of a lot worse than it was. I mean,
still pretty Battlefronted though.
I mean, they could have gotten all this massive hysteria for the game.
Even all the Battlefront YouTubers that I'm subscribed to have just, like, fallen off of it.
Well, I mean, yeah, wouldn't have you?
Hey guys, just real quick, letting you know, I'll be right back. Sorry, got to take care of something.
But the biggest thing is that, yeah, they could have added more. Yes, they are adding more in DLC. Should we have to pay for it? No.
No, God, no.
But, on the flip side, it's going to be epic no matter what. And I'm excited to see what they do with the next Battlefield. Even though that's another 2 or 3 years off.
No, please say 4. More time. More time equals more content plus good servers. Take
Hopefully.
your time.
But at the same time, even if they do release a new one, in 2 years, I'm sure it'll be good, just as good. But you're right, they do need to be adding in more content for the first
I
start.
don't think they quite thought of the longevity of what they were going to release.
And the other thing is
they
that
quite thought of that.
too much. They could have gotten all this mass hype for it after the trailer, haul thing between them and Infinite
and it
Warfare.
Was great, but the longevity they really didn't think about.
Yeah, but they could have just completely bombed it in the beginning, even after all that mass hysteria.
We knew it wasn't going to bomb.
Yeah, I mean, we all
knew they weren't going to bomb it because Battlefield doesn't
going to bomb it.
Up.
But there was that chance, and had it happened, it could have completely ruined them. And I'm still excited to see what they do next because, yes, as much as I would hope they go back and they make another game like Battlefield 1942,
Battlefield 24, 20,
or 20, or was it like
43?
It was 2142.
2143. Like just Battlefield 2143, make it happen, EA.
Yeah, but I think that would be an interesting thing for him to do. The problem, but the thing, I would want instead would be another Battlefield 1942, but at the same time,
this one, though?
Yeah, that's the problem is that after this one, they need to switch it up, and probably
after
go to like
this
2142
one,
or
the time
back
periods are gonna get fucking watered down again.
Well, they either have to go up to
Call of Duty's working on that right now. They're about to shovel the shit into it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like if Call of Duty.
Oh man.
If Call of Duty goes like more towards like a Vietnam era or something like that,
they're gonna do it.
Then Battlefield needs to either go back to 1942 or they need to go to 2142 and show the Activision folk how a real futuristic game needs to be made.
Exactly.
And then they need to drop it back down again and
Tell
show them how a real fucking
pasting old Halo games and
oh my god.
Oh god, that was perfect. I come back and all I hear is Halo games. I was like, eh!
The fact
right
that
Infinite Warfare copy pasted a lot of Halo.
Yeah, the fact that you could see a fucking pelican.
You could see a pelican, George from Halo Reach's armor, concept art from Halo Reach is like a title you can get in the game.
Like the fact that they're copying so much, I'm surprised that 343 didn't sue them. But at the same time, 343 knows that even if they did sue them, there's no money there. So
there's no money in that. No.
So
thanks for the free advertisement. They would rather come here.
What 343 needs to do is drop their new game hints and start releasing teasers for the second part of fucking Halo 5.
Halo 5 Part 2.
Halo 6.
Or whatever it be. Halo 5.5.
Halo 6. Sorry for the last story. We're fixing it.
Yeah.
That's exact title right there.
So, one thing I did want to talk about since you two decided to take up like 15 minutes talking about Battlefield again.
I guess we can spend the next 15 minutes talking about Halo again.
Yay!
We're talking about Halo. I mean, that's gonna make it happy.
Blasting.
So I have obviously, because as I mentioned of like financial issues I've been having in the past couple of months, I'm so disappointed in myself that I have not been able to get a copy of Halo Wars 2. But I have been, because when they like announced it and everything, and like that first time you see like Atriox, I shit my pants.
Shit myself.
Because and then the next trailer they dropped was like the whole background story behind Atriox. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing.
Like
I am
the biggest thing
so
I'm
pumped
excited for Halo 2 is the fact that it is going to be available on the PC. And the biggest reason for that is that strategy games, hands down, are developed for PC. And that was the biggest problem I always had with the original Halo Wars, and the reason I never fully played it is because
guaranteed.
The controls were too whack, and I just couldn't get the shit that I wanted to get done playing it on the console. Whereas if had it been on a PC, yeah, I would have finished that shit in a day. But the controls get so convoluted and complex when you're trying to play on a controller that has a limited amount of buttons, and especially if you're, a lot of, experienced strategy game players on the PC will use hotkeys. I use hotkeys a lot because it makes it easier to select groups of units. It makes it quicker to build shit. You can do shit 10 times faster playing a strategy game with a keyboard than you can with a controller.
One of the main things that I would say that I kind of agree with you on that is it's kind of because I'm an RTS player myself, and especially on PC, technically laptop for me. But thank you, Asus, for making good laptops.
Well, they haven't been making good laptops lately. I work at a Micro Center, and honestly, the number one brand that's been getting returned the most lately has been Asus.
Really? Well,
yeah.
Shit. I bought my laptop probably like 5 or 6 years ago because it was on sale on clearance, and I bought it because the guy was like, "Do you like gaming?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "This thing's fucking beast for gaming," and I was like, "Sold."
5 or 6 years ago, Asus was making great games, and Dandy's getting fucking triggered.
Asshole. You can fucking stop.
You stop getting so fucking triggered.
No. I'm just like, no. I'm too relaxed. I've had a long day, so I'm kind of laying back and listening. I'm serious. I'm like, I'm serious. I'm like, I'm really close to just dozing off because I'm relaxed. I'm trying to get myself awake.
Stand up and just walk around a little bit.
It's all right. It's been a long day. It's been a really long day, and it's it just kind of. I get home to a comfy couch, and it's like, oh yeah. Serenity.
Okay. Halo Wars 2 came out yesterday.
Anyways, as the point that I was trying to make is one of the, it's kind of a cheap method when it comes to RTS games, but one of the, kind of a key strategy, and if you watch RTS games, you'll notice this too. Generally people will not necessarily mass up on one unit, but they will focus with one unit, send it into the enemy base as soon as possible to just wipe them out and get the game over with. Because if that doesn't work, it's a back and forth tug of war game of trying to counter each other's units.
There's a technical definition for it, and I can't remember. I think swarming, I believe it is what it's called.
Yeah, it came from StarCraft because people who played Zerg would swarm super early and fucking destroy everyone.
Yeah, and
Zergling Rush.
Yeah,
Zergling Rush. Yeah.
But the point is that in Halo Wars, because I'm a diehard Halo fan, so I've played a shit of all the games, including Halo Wars, which I do actually really like. And again, I can definitely be a proponent for the fact that there are major multiplayer issues for the fact that it is a RTS game.
I didn't know Halo Wars 2 came out yesterday, and I'm sorry for interrupting, but I just wanted to add, looking at some of these reviews, people are not very happy.
Oh, great.
Apparently
people were the same with Halo Wars 1. They weren't fucking happy about it, but in my opinion, it's still good.
The only thing they're not happy about is it keeps crashing. It won't update. It's very laggy.
Oh, of
having
course.
very big performance issues.
Well,
so anyways,
one
of the things
games
with
have issues with optimization. That is another issue with strategy games. So go on.
But in Halo Wars 1, because of they had, in most RTS games, you have a supply build where you can go from 100, 200, 300, 500 units per game. Well, in Halo Wars, you had a max. Well, you started out with 30 as a supply cap, and then you could upgrade it to 40. And just to put in that perspective, if you wanted to make an army of completely Scorpion tanks, that meant you had 12 tanks.
So it was a minuscule amount, and that's one of the biggest problems with playing strategy games on a console is that console strategy games can only handle X amount of what's going on at any time, because there's so much else that runs behind the scenes. But on a PC, it can handle exponentially much more, which is why you'll see a higher population cap for a strategy game that happens on a PC, whereas you'll see such a low population cap for a strategy game that happens on a console.
StarCraft 2 and the Zerg are a great example.
I guarantee you that the population cap for Halo Wars 2 is a lot higher because it's available on the PC, and you'll probably see it that high on the Xbox as well. And I bet you that is one of the problems why it's having such so many issues and why people are saying it's crashing a lot, it won't, update and stuff like that, is because a lot of games that have high population caps, that means X amount of shit is happening at once, and if a processor can't handle that, then it's going to crash. And when it crashes, that causes the game issues, and it's hard to update when the processor has limits like the Xbox One does. And I bet you that, once Project Scorpio comes out, I bet you Halo Wars 2 would run beautifully on it. Because it's going to have much higher running or clocking processor than the Xbox One did.
Yeah, because the point that I was trying to make was that in Halo Wars 1 was like, with how there's that cheap method for RTS games where you just kind of rush in with one mass unit and hope that you fucking kill them. Because when it came to Halo Wars 1, you had a very small base too that you had to, if you could not, you built up those bases that you knew you were going to send out that one unit, and if that didn't work, you had to destroy all your base, all your base basically, rebuild your base back up so that way you could have a different unit set or try and delay the person so that way you could have a mass army of a multiple different units so that way you could counter whatever the hell they threw at you. So basically it was like the game was either going to last 5 minutes or it's going to last 30 minutes, which is kind of how most RTS games go.
Right.
But Halo Wars was like its own fucking weird thing with that. It was like...
Yeah, because
early
so ganking would
aggravating.
still happen.
Right.
Early ganking could still happen. There were people who would get Scout Warhogs, immediately get a bunch of Marines, and then study turrets instantly and immediately go for your base while you're attempting to construct stuff, and you'd get early ganked.
And the other problem is, too, is, like, especially if you're, like, my general strategy when I play RTSs is build up a defensive line first, before you build up an army that can push forward without any resistance. And if you can get your enemy funneling into one central point and you can focus the most amount of firepower in that one location while holding them off in other locations as well, as long as you have those bottlenecks, you can control the field. But the problem is, if it's a wide open field, you're going to have a lot of issues making those bottlenecks because you're going to actually have to adjust the terrain yourself by building, just as an example, like Company of Heroes 2, you'll have to use shit like tank traps, barbed wire, natural barriers like, buildings and trees and shit that, a lot of shit's not going to be able to make it through, but you can force and move shit by focusing it into one area. Which makes it a lot easier as a defensive player. It gives you time to, build up your forces. So when you push forward, you've got a massive force of, tanks, planes, infantry, enough of shit that it will be able to. If you lose a tank, you're not going to be able. You're going to be able to push 2 more up to be able to compensate. Mm-hmm. Whereas if early ganking, I've always had serious issues with that, just as someone who plays strategy games all the time and, studied strategy and wars and shit, that I always have an issue with, that kind of thing, even though it basically boils down to a blitzkrieg maneuver. The problem is that, it kind of ruins the game. It ruins the fun of the game. You ruin the fun of, oh, his defenses are strong in this area, but if I push over here where he's a little weaker, I can push through his forces, and he's going to have to maneuver a lot more over here, which will give me enough time to push forward through the weaker area on the other side. It ruins the tactics and the strategy that you get from playing an actual strategy game. And when you get... My thing is I hate playing... If I see, shit like early ganking, I usually just leave the game because it's so stupid. It ruins the game, and it's not even worth my time. But when I get those games where you get a person who's truly using strategy and trying to force you into a bottleneck with your troops, or trying to, outmaneuver you on a flank, or moving in with a pincer movement, or actually using, a proper blitzkrieg tactic, then yes, I prefer those games over people who just, for example, will build up a fucking shit ton of Zerglings and just wash over you like a fucking wave. That just ruins the game for me.
Basically, just be Korean and stomp everyone.
I'm sorry if I'm seeming I'm sorry if I'm seeming out of it, but RTS games is not my thing, so I'm just letting you have all the floor you want. I'm just listening.
Well,
How
if
you
I could,
can't even play
in a-
Civilization is honestly beyond me. It's one of the more interactive, like, there's always something to do. Like, you're not
Yeah,
just,
there's always something
hey,
to
move
do.
that guy over there. Like, it's so much more to it than just a strategy game.
That's one of the things I love about Civilization 5 is that not only is there, the movement of troops, you also have okay, I need to hunt out these resources. I need to, think,
Got
okay,
legit
I got
diplomacy, city-states, exploration, treasures, lost history.
and you've also got trade routes, you've got religion, you've got, economy you got to worry about. And,
It's not just
but
build your civilization and then attack each other. That's not
yeah,
it.
like there's a lot more to it. And the other thing about even with Civilization is that there's even more, because it's on such a larger map too, is that there's a lot more to that strategy as well, because you have to really study the terrain to figure out, okay, I own this land here, which means I'm going to have to put this many troops here and this many troops here to force this country, if they attack, into this bottleneck to make sure that they fall into the heaviest amount of troops. Like, there's a lot of strategy that goes into defending yourself in that situation too, while at the same time worrying, okay, how many troops do I have? Is my economy able to support that? If not, who do I need to become an ally with in order to be able to support my economic needs? Which city-states do I need to also, ally with to make sure that my technology progress is moving along at the pace that I want it to? And, am I also exploring new lands in case this land doesn't work out well enough for me and I have to, set up some shop somewhere else? Like, there's a lot more into than just, actual battle strategy that goes into, a lot of RTSs. Whereas in Civilization 5, there's a lot more like overall strategy that goes into the whole game.
Plus,
I
there's
can
a
definitely
UN.
tell
What
you-
game gives every player the opportunity to come together to change the entire game? Not in anyone's favor, really.
Like, well, I mean, unless you're me and you know how to fucking work that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
But
fucking
one
dang.
thing that I can definitely tell you is, and also just a disclaimer, I'm not Korean by any means, so I'm not an expert
None of
when
us
it
are.
comes to StarCraft.
You're not Korean. You're not like a supreme pro out of the womb.
But
like,
I am a huge fan of StarCraft for RTS-based games, and I can tell you I already know when it comes to because there's only 3 races. There's the Terran, humans. There's the Protoss, which are like psionic aliens,
additional
and there's
Protoss
the
are fucking cool. You must construct additional
Toss for life.
pilots.
Yes. Insufficient Vespene gas. Anyways, and then there's there's like the bugs,
Dandy tards.
zerglings. So Zerg. So depending on when you jump into like usually most people play just 1v1 rounds. If let's say I'm going with because I'm Toss for life. Let's say I'm going to be Protoss, and the other person comes up as Zergling, of course.
Yeah, because who plays with anything else?
Right.
No one plays
So-
Terrans.
One of the things I'm going to be worried about right away is, okay, he's going to Zerg rush right away. So that basically automatically tells them what my build is going to be automatically, because my first worry is to close off the ramp that's going into my base with the most toughest buildings that are most useful to me as well. So that means I'm going to be building my Stargates, which are the generic barracks for the Protoss. Those buildings have high hit point damage, and they're also useful to me. So I block off my ramp with them, and then I can start developing units while they're slowly fucking attacking those buildings. Now let's switch it up. If I'm going Terran, and somebody is playing Protoss against me, then that means I've got to go mass marine bunker, so that way he doesn't send in 5 zealots into my fucking mineral field and just completely ruin my day.
Yeah.
I mean, there's basically Civilization is kind of one of those differences when it comes to RTS, but basically in all RTS
like its
games,
own
you can
genre.
map out how each strategy in every game is going to play out.
Civilization is
and-
just its own genre, like, because you can't plan everything out. Something's gonna fucking happen where you're just like, oh, god damn it.
Fucking
Like-
Gandhi. It's always Gandhi, though.
It's always Gandhi nuking people, dude. Like, he
Yeah.
just doesn't stop. It's insane.
Yeah.
But, like,
but unless it's
One of the best
fucking
strategy games I've
Civilization 6,
played.
then it's Gandhi and Cleopatra that are just fucking everything up.
Basically, they're fucking assholes.
And like, I've enjoyed playing Civilization 6, but at the same time, it's just there's a lot I have wrong.
It's too cartoony looking too.
Yeah, it's too cartoony looking, and it's also like they changed a lot of gameplay with it, which I don't really like. Some of it is interesting concepts, but at the same time, it could have been done a little better. Like it's a real, it probably in my opinion, probably a good solid 6.5 out of 10. But
yeah,
you know, I don't know. That's a whole conversation for another time.
Anyway,
Right. But anyways, the whole reason that oh, sorry, go ahead, man.
Okay. One of my favorite RTSs were the Warhammer 40K Dawn of War games. Still are.
Yeah.
Especially the original ones made by THQ. That just shows you how good they are. THQ made them. And THQ, when it came to RTS, I mean,
they were fucking
they didn't really
good.
fuck around. They were fucking good.
Well,
so it shows you how really well made they were.
To be honest, like, my original
Ripped
and
THQ,
always...
by the way, you will be missed.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said rip.
Amen.
My favorite RTS game out of all, and it is always going to be the original RTS game. And
I love that game too. That's a good game.
It's made by EA.
Original RTS is a good game.
It's made by
Command
EA,
and
but
Conquer.
it's Command and Conquer. Best fucking
Which one,
RTS.
Red Alert?
Honestly, for me, it's Tiberian Sun, the
Red Alert.
original one. Red Alert is fun, but Tiberian Sun is where I really got into it. And
I was gonna say when Red Alert came out, that's when I found out about Command and Conquer. I didn't even know it existed before Red Alert, and I jumped into it, and I was like, "Whoa, dude!"
Like classic fucking 90s commercial ad.
I love Tiberian Sun, and I love the second one, and I'm so upset that the whole Command and Conquer series just kind of fell apart when they made the last one.
Free to play cash.
No, they didn't. It ended because basically with the last game, Command and Conquer 4, they fucked it up so badly that the entire team that worked on it got fired. And after that, they just couldn't get enough people back to be able to make a good game. And in order for it to be, the fan base was gone after Command and Conquer 4. And it just ruined the whole game, and it makes me sad that it ended on such a bad game.
Why didn't some of the people at Turtle Rock Studios do that for some of the fucking people who made Arkham Knight?
Because they probably don't have the money to do that.
To fire people?
Fire that kind of a team. Like, you have to realize, they fired the entire team that worked on Command and Conquer 4.
I didn't say the entire team. Why didn't they fire certain motherfuckers who made it? Because there are definitely areas where they fucked up.
I have never played Arkham
Whoever
Knight,
came up with the Batmobile sections, you can fuck right off, dude. It's like smashing toy tanks into each other as a kid. That's all it is. And then whoever attempted to put it on PC, and bless their heart for trying, but kick them off, dude. Get them out of here.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
And from the famous words of the man in the White House, get him out of here. Just get him out. Get him out of here.
But I was gonna say that this might be obvious, but my favorite RTS, that the game that got me into it, was the original StarCraft. And granted, I think StarCraft 1 came out was it 90 or 91?
It was 91, I think.
Google to the rescue! Hold on.
Because I know. I was gonna say, I know it. I know StarCraft 1 came out long before I was born. I was born in '94. I know. I'm a fucking child. But anyways, it was just I remember going over to my friend's house when I was maybe 11 or 12 years old, and he had Diablo 2, he had Halo 2, he had StarCraft 1, he had Age of Empires 2. I went over and he would be playing one game on his Xbox and I'd be on his computer playing one of those games.
1998.
Yeah, 1998.
Really, 98?
You were both wrong.
Yep, 1998. That's because it came out And I seem to remember that because it came out 1 year after Nintendo or GoldenEye for the N64 came out.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
And I remember being, when it came out, I wanted to play it so bad, and I finally. What's really funny is I had a couple of Korean friends who got it, and I played it over there at their house, and oh my god, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
The second one's
I don't know.
just
I
good.
must have been thinking of like some other game that came out that I'm totally spacing right now. But anyways, yeah. So StarCraft itself is just like it's to me like if I could like rank the games that I love the most, Halo's the
I'd
top
give it
one,
10
and then
pylons out of
StarCraft.
10.
Yeah, 10 pylons.
But wait, you must construct additional pylons.
Yeah. So what I loved like so much and like especially like and this also is one of those things that the company like Blizzard got a lot of flack for it was how they basically took their second game and turned it into 3 games. And a lot of people say that that's fucking stupid. It's
Welcome
like the whole
to
like
Dawn of War, motherfuckers. We have
Yeah.
4 different versions of our game.
Well,
You're
they
welcome.
basically because they're like it's not the same as like, but what people always say is it's like, oh, so they're just trying to milk you with money and everything, and I'm like, no, dude, like if you play each StarCraft 1, StarCraft 2, Wings of Liberty,
There's a shit
StarCraft 2,
ton in
Heart of
each
the
of
Swarm, StarCraft 2, Legacy of the Void, they are all
They're
like their
not
own
just
individual
DLC.
games.
Yeah, they're
They
individual
are
games.
full hardcore games with as each one went, they added completely new features. They didn't just like bring stuff over from the previous game. Like they added in a whole bunch of new stuff to try and make it its own game. And I thought it was perfect the way that they did it. And it was even better because it was like you were like, me, I'm really hardcore into like story and game campaign and everything. So when they were like, "Oh, StarCraft 2 Heart of the
What the
Swarm,"
fuck
when
was
they
that?
announced that, I was like, "Oh my god." And then when I played that and I was like, "Wait, this isn't the end. This can't be the end." And then they're like, "Legacy of the Void." And I was like, "Oh my god."
Oh my god.
Like I was straight up fangirling every time I saw that there was an announcement trailer for a new StarCraft 2. And now I swear part of me is going to die when they announce a StarCraft 3 because that I know they're going to do that. They're not going to do like any more StarCraft 2 whatever, It's going to be StarCraft 3, which would be interesting what they do because spoiler alert if nobody has played all 3 of them.
Well, hang on, I gotta
Um,
take off my headset.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
then.
basically, I mean, I'm gonna try not to spoil every detail, but basically, the storyline that you follow from StarCraft 1 all through all 4 of those games, it essentially comes to a complete fucking end at the end of StarCraft Legacy of the Void. It's done.
Yeah, I
Like
see the
all the
end. It's
all the
fucking
character
over, dude.
arcs, everything, yeah, it all comes back around circle. Everything's complete. Nothing's left open in the air. Well, the one small detail's kind of left open,
Yeah, we're not gonna say it.
Yeah.
They gotta always leave something open for something this successful. as
Right, but
StarCraft,
that
so-
one, that's the thing, is
Complete
that
the
one
series.
little thing that they left open at the end of Legacy of the Void, that's not something that they can make another game off of. That's just one of those like, oh, it's like, kind of when you come to like the end of like a book or something, and it's just like you're wondering like, oh well, the story ended, but I want to know what happens, and it's like, well, and then the author's like, well, use your goddamn imagination.
And you're
Have
like,
fun.
and you just sit there and you have your middle finger extended.
It's not one of those things. It's not like I'm fucking pissed off at Blizzard because they didn't resolve the story, because essentially they did resolve the story at the end of Legacy of the Void, but it's just kind of one of those like,
Minor
know-
details that you still wanted explained.
yeah, kind of. Well, because it's just
Real
so
quick,
Joe,
though.
you haven't played it, have you?
I haven't played it, and I want to, but I've just never gotten around to getting it and playing it. So, and I've watched a lot of videos, but
It's
I have
free
no real
as far
idea
as
what's.
I'm aware.
I've watched a lot of videos about the StarCraft 2 and all the rest of the add-ons for it, but I have real no idea what's going on with it. So,
Okay, well, let me try and explain this without any spoilers.
Well,
Basically,
real-
what I'm trying
Before
to
you
quick.
say anything,
real quick,
Okay.
I think we may have lost Dandy because
yeah, I'm pretty sure he's dead. He stopped
pretty
thinking.
Yeah,
sure
he's
he
dead.
is.
He stopped.
oh, he's alive.
I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm just listening. So I mean, I don't do, like I said, I don't do a lot of RTS stuff. So I'm just kind of like sitting back, kind of soaking it in. Like if you were to talk first person shooters, RPGs, freaking horror games, I'm all about that. I mean, I'm all about that. I really am. But like RTS, that's all you guys. I'm just gonna sit back and take a break.
Okay, well, to finish up what I was trying to say, basically, Joe.
Hold on, I was gonna say something.
Okay.
Joe, as far as I'm aware, just StarCraft without any of the other shit is, I think, free.
Well, yeah, I think the original
Battle.net.
StarCraft is, but
No, StarCraft 2, I mean.
Oh, well, maybe I'll check that out. But
yeah, you just have to install Battle.net, and I'm pretty sure it's there for free. Well, that's the last time I checked Battle.net.
I'm not too sure about that, but
anyways,
anyways,
it's free install. So
before we pick up, kind of what you have saying about going on about Star Trek, or wow, I've been watching
Star Trek. All right, we
I've
just pissed everyone off.
I've been watching a lot of Star Trek recently. But before we back up with this StarCraft discussion, I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Thank God, I gotta pee.
All right. Well, actually, I was just saying that because I'm going to cause a break here so we can have somewhere to kind of start the next episode.
Oh, but I gotta pee.
Well, go pee,
right.
Make it quick, and Hezekiah's continue on. And I'll just start off with, all right, everybody, we're back, and just kind of recap. We were talking a little bit about StarCraft 2, and a lot of the stuff. We're trying to keep out as many spoilers as possible because I myself haven't played it or any of the add-ons myself, and kind of really want to figure it out for myself. But Hezekiah's here with us, is going to be giving us a little bit idea of what's going on.
But I mean, I was just kind of coming to a conclusion of I mean, I could go on and talk about StarCraft like I could with Halo. Like we could have 6 episodes just dedicated to it, in my opinion, of me just rambling. But the conclusion...
Are you going to reach around me before you give me
Maybe.
such pleasure? Come on.
Maybe. But the conclusion of what I was trying to say about how, like, the whole character arcs, the whole storyline, it all comes back around and they don't leave anything open, because without giving any spoilers away, more or less, everybody rides off into the sunset,
Yeah,
it all kind of works out in the end,
Well, to be honest, I've played StarCraft 1, but it's been so many years I can't even remember what the fuck happened in StarCraft 1.
Do you want me to give you a recap?
Yeah, let's do a recap of StarCraft 1, because, I mean, by this point, everybody's played it, so, I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
Okay, so here's my Spark Notes version of StarCraft 1. Basically, you have like the Earth Space Command or whatever, and all that shit. Yeah, but no, not necessarily the Terran, because there's the Earth Space Command. They control Earth territories. Now, the territory of space that StarCraft takes place in is like, fucking light years away. So essentially, the Terran themselves are like in StarCraft 1, they were like the rebels. They were like rising up, and they're like, "Fuck you!" Like
scum.
Dictatorship. Yeah, and they were like, "Fuck you, dictatorship! We want to run our own territory over here." So, the Terran, you're fighting I think it's the Confederacy. Actually, is what the Earth-based government is called. Go figure, Confederates.
Fucking Confederates.
Right. So basically, that's how the Terran started. So. Because StarCraft 1 starts out where you're playing as the Terran before you get introduced to the other fucking races. So you're basically, listening. You play, of course, as, well, not really you play as, but the main character is, of course, Jim Raynor. And he's pretty much just like this, like, lieutenant in the Terran Dominion and everything. And you're following the leader of that, which is this guy, Arcturus Manx. And you think he's fucking, he's the leader of the rebel group. So you're like, oh, he's a good guy and everything. Well, once the Zerg come just fucking everything up, pretty much like the Flood in Halo, you're like, oh shit, this sucks. And then out of nowhere, the Protoss comes in and they're like, we've been watching you guys fuck each other up for a long time, and we're going to fuck all of you up just to prove a point. So that's pretty much what the Protoss did. They came in and they're like, all right, well, there's one Zerg on this big ass planet, so we're gonna destroy the entire planet. So without even giving warning or anything. So the Terran kept thinking that the Protoss were basically attacking them, when really they were just trying to stop the Zerg from spreading and all that shit. So then it basically developed into this three-way war because, of course, the Zerg is just trying to consume everything.
Right.
So then you find out Arcturus Minx started basically he built this transmitter that it's called a psi emitter or something like that, and it attracts Zerg. Like it attracts Zerg to wherever this radio transmission is. So he started putting these transmitters on Confederate planets, and not like just government installations or anything, like, you know, innocent civilian planets and shit.
Yeah.
So he put all these transmitters on there, and all these Zerg were attacking these planets, which then brought the Protoss in to completely fuck up the planet. And you find out about this, you and Sarah Kerrigan, who is like this special ops, you know, ghost leader for the Terran. And you're all like, wait a minute, that's not right. We shouldn't be killing civilians. This is about governments and rebellion and all this shit. So Arcturus Minx is like, oh yeah, you guys are right. He's like, oh, you guys are right. I'm sorry. And then he just like pulls back the curtain and he's like, haha, actually I was evil the entire time. And he tricks.
It's a prank, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, there's a camera there. There's a camera there. It's a prank, bro. It's a prank.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
I'm really hungry. You guys keep going.
So he ends up like abandoning, because Kerrigan was going to blow the whistle on the whole thing. He ends up abandoning her on the fucking this planet that the Zerg is invading. She, what you're led to believe, is killed by the Zerg. And of course, Jim Raynor is ultimately pissed off because he loves Sarah Kerrigan anyways. So he kind of like leaves the Terran Dominion. The Confederates are completely wiped out at this point. So the Confederates are gone from this territory of space. So it's just the Terran Dominion. And of course, Arcturus Minx, being the asshole that he is, rises up as to his own dictatorship and starts basically doing the exact same thing the Confederates were doing. So then all of a sudden you find out that the Zerg didn't actually kill Kerrigan. No, they mutated her, and they turned her into their all-powerful, mighty queen.
The brood mother, wasn't it? Or something like that?
Yeah, a brood... well, actually, they took her to the Overmind, and the Overmind is essentially, you know, he's like the manipulator of gene splicing and all this shit. So he mutated Kerrigan into this... Because ghost, special ops ghosts... have like this, not only are they badass like snipers and assassins, they have like super psionic abilities and shit, like they're telekinetic and all that. So you combine this badass telekinesis with this like basically like quote unquote perfect evolved species, the Zerg. You combine it together and you get a really fucking badass OP character, the Queen of Blades. So you find out about that. You start fighting, you know, the Queen of Blades, because she's basically like, you know, fuck everybody. I got left behind and left for dead, so I'm just going to kill everybody. So
like you do.
Jim Raynor, yeah, exactly. I mean, fuck everybody, right?
Yeah, fuck everybody.
So the entire time, though, Jim Raynor is trying to fight. He's trying to fight off the Protoss. He's trying to fight off the Zerg. He's trying to fight off the Terran, all while trying to befriend the Protoss and trying to convince Sarah not to basically fuck everybody up. And, you know, you team up with the Protoss. This really powerful dude in the military named Tassadar ends up sacrificing himself to kill the Overmind of the Zerg, which you believe is then going to kill the Zerg. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. So you kill the Overmind. Tassadar sacrifices himself in this really epic way. He somehow just like turns himself into a goddamn nuke. I still don't quite understand that. But anyways, then, so the Zerg, like, retreat. They're like, fuck, fall back. Our leader is dead.
Run away!
Yeah, so the Zerg disappears. The Protoss are like, well, the Zerg's gone, so we don't give a fuck about this whole, you know, civil war going on between you Terran. So we're going to jump ship again. So then you're just left with, you know, more rebellious Terran human shit going on. And that's the end of StarCraft 1.
Ah.
And then StarCraft 2 picks up like 15, 20 years later.
Golf clap. Golf clap.
That sounds like you're jerking it.
No, this sounds like I'm jerking it.
Nope. No, that's the sound it makes when you eat. That's the sound you make when you eat something out. Eat that booty like groceries. But moving on.
Oh yeah.
So basically, shit gets fucked. More shit gets fucked. Somebody makes an oops and then betrays somebody. Then more shits get fucked. Shit gets converted. More shit gets even more fucked. One guy's running around saying, "Can't we all be friends?" One guy blows himself up in a magnificent fashion, and then they fuck off, and then the rest of them fuck off, and it's left with these two people fight in a civil war. Sounds like a fun time.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that pretty much sums up the entire like StarCraft, like all of the StarCraft games. It's just one betrayal and teaming up after betrayal and teaming up and then lies and then teaming up and betrayal again.
Man, I need to go back and play these games again, and then finally get around to playing StarCraft 2 in the series. But moving on to a new topic, though, has anybody here played the new Resident Evil, or?
I have not. I really want to, though, but I've seen literally tons of Twitch gameplay, YouTube gameplay. I know what that game was all about. I know what it's like got to offer and stuff like that. It looks freaking awesome.
Well, why don't you talk about it for a while?
I can only talk about it for so long.
Wow.
Oh man, because I can only talk about it for so long until I actually play it. But what I can tell you this is, first off, it's Resident Evil 7. First off, and that's obvious. That's very much obvious. It's 7 because nobody likes 6, apparently. I mean, everybody liked 4 and 5. Nobody liked 6. So
I really haven't played any of them, so I don't know.
Well, to give you a rundown, pretty much Resident Evil started off as a top-down third-person horror survival game of.
Well, that much I do remember, but.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, you know that. So there are zombies and big creatures involved. It's all about finding out what the source is of what creates all this stuff and what the Umbrella Corporation is hiding and all that stuff. Well, there's a big, huge, complicated story behind it, and I really, really don't want to dive into it because I played 4. I have not played the first one. I played the first one probably a long time ago, but I can't remember. So I put it under nope, haven't played it. But I know what it's about. I've had it explained to me a billion times. I played the crap out of 4, played crap out of 5. I played crap out of 6. Really haven't played 7. What's cool about Resident Evil, though, is that where 6 was like kind of like an action shooter. This is like an over-the-top Japanese action shooter because Resident Evil, it wasn't even called Resident. That's a cool thing. It wasn't even called Resident Evil over in Japan. It was called Biohazard.
Huh.
So yeah, so it was called Resident Evil here in America. And here's where the really cool part comes in. Now, in Japan, the new Resident Evil game, it's called Biohazard Resident Evil. Here, it's called Resident Evil Biohazard. Isn't that cool? Yep. Now this game is has gotten a lot of praise, a lot of freaking hype, and it deserves it. It deserves all its credit. Now, where the original games were kind of like really over the top, like Japanese motions, like really kind of like Japanese looking characters and stuff like that. This flips the formula on its head and goes back to what Resident Evil was about. Freaking scary shit. Where they put away all the action, they put away all the freaking like flippies and explosions and all that stuff, and they focused more on the horror. They focused more on the scares. Now, they did. Now, I don't know if you know, but they did put out a free demo, like a prequel demo to what happened to these like a group of guys that went into the house before the main character did.
Yeah.
Now, I played the crap out of that, and if the game is anything like that, I'm kind of almost scared to play it. The game
Frustrating.
focuses on the game focuses on atmosphere and just all around creepiness. Like
Is it kind of like Alien Isolation in that aspect? Then?
in a way, but you can actually fight back.
I thought you could fight back with like a flamethrower in Alien Isolation though.
Yeah, but you can fight back with a flamethrower, but it's always going to come back, always going to come at you, and you can it's always going to get you. I mean, and the movements are unpredictable. But Alien Isolation, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, that's FUBAR.
Yeah. With Resident Evil 7, this game really flips the whole formula, as in where all the other games have been first either a rail shooter or a top-down third-person shooter, or just third-person shooter in general. They're experimenting, and they actually succeeded. But they're experimenting with putting a first-person view on it. This is actually a first-person shooter, and I was like, oh crap! I mean, of course, I was stunned, but I actually know legit people who are legit Resident Evil fans that were just completely blown away when they were going to make the switch to first person. I've heard support, I've heard hate, I've heard a lot of different types of opinions and objections and agreements for them going to first person view. Doesn't make it scary, and honestly, it makes it scarier. It really does. The game focuses on like this, not so much this big overblown government thing, but pretty much you're a guy and you get a video from your wife, saying that, hey, she's in distress and she's like, hey, I'm stuck in this place. I know I've been missing for a long time and I've been stuck in this place. Don't come looking for me. And of course he goes looking for her.
Well, of course.
And it turns,
you can't have a horror game unless you do that.
Yep. And being the dumbass that he is, yeah, and it's in the Louisiana. It's in like the Louisiana swamp. It's in the south.
The bayou.
Yeah, the bayou with this
Good old
freaking
bayou. Get yourself some Cajun.
Get yourself
with this
some
freaking
gator shoes and some Cajun out in the bayou.
Exactly, and freaking pretty much he goes there and kind of tries to sniff her out. Finds her, but then realizes stuff isn't what it's supposed to be, and he just ends up getting himself caught. And he's got to get out of the house. He's got to kill these members these family members. It's like this messed up Southern family who basically can't die. They've got this like gift in them, or curse or whatever, that was given to them by like this entity or this like kind of like infected goddess or whatever. And it's all about uncovering that mystery and just getting out of the house and finding your wife and just getting the hell out. The game has amazing jump scares. Like, I mean, I've watched people I follow on Twitch play. They play it on Twitch and I watched it with them. I mean, they would get freaked out and I would kind of jump too. I mean, the game has great atmosphere. Like, it's not even so much symphonic plague. There's a lot of usually you get cliche horror games that have a lot of symphonic plague. Not this game. You get a lot of creaks and moans in the house.
Like atmospheric noise instead of symphonic.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, there's symphonic plague. There's definitely symphonic plague. But you get a lot of atmospheric noises around you. You can hear things crawling around you. You can hear things
moving. Sounds like a game I'm never going to play.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I mean...
I was going to keep...
go for it.
I was going to keep explaining myself. I mean, figured you guys took the last hour and a half to talk about RTS. I might as well talk about Resident Evil.
So how about that in Halo Wars 2?
Son of a... Where'd Gold go?
Where did Ryan go? Did we lose Ryan? Did he stop vaping?
I thought he said something about going and getting something to eat, but yeah, that was like a while ago.
Yeah, I think he did that. So, but yeah, I mean, but here's where the game also excels. It really goes back to those horror roots. It really goes back to those freaking like scary tones, that mad dashing to loot through everything to find ammo or to find like health kits or something like that. It really goes back to trying to find it puts you in an uncomfortable spot, not knowing what the F to do. It really puts you back in that situation, and that's what the first Resident Evil was all about. That's why this game has received a ton of good ratings, a ton of praise. It's a return back to what Resident Evil was all about, and that's what makes it so good. Now, there's also puzzles. I mean, the save system is kind of like the first Resident Evil as well. You got to find a safe room. You got to save on a typewriter. Like, you know what I mean? Freaking, have you ever played a horror game where you got to save on a typewriter?
No.
You know what I mean?
But again, I don't really play
games.
Oh God, Brian's back.
I usually go
I've
play.
been trying not to make chewing noises this whole time.
Okay. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's really like you gotta find a place to save. You gotta manage your equipment, manage what you can carry, what you can't. There's also side missions. A lot of a lot of lore to find and stuff like that. And of course, you always got enemies that are
in the house, or does it?
The house is incredibly huge. The house is it's a mansion, and that's also
crazy.
And that also goes back to what the first Resident Evil was, because the first Resident Evil was also a mansion. And yeah, this game really returns to that, and you really feel fear in this game. This game really brings out the fear. I got a really close friend of mine who played the whole thing, beat the game several times, and he says it still freaks him out. There's still a lot of things that freaks him out. Also, this game has been very, very exclusive to PlayStation VR. I mean, this game is this game is on all platforms, but it also excels at PlayStation VR because
that sounds like a big hell to the nope.
Yeah. Okay, no, you're in it. Like, you're freaking in it. There's no escaping. Like, you're in that game. And now, part of me wants to try it. The other part of me is like you, like, hell no. Nope. Alien Isolation gives me the creeps. What do you think this game's gonna do?
Yeah, I would say that's a big nope for, buddy.
But I really want to try it though. I mean, I can give you a bunch of info on what it's all about and how the gameplay is, but I can really not give you a full detailed I can really not give you a full detailed opinion or review until I actually play it myself. You feel me?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
I think it's freaking great though. Like, when it came out, me and my girlfriend were watching a bunch of walkthroughs at the same time, and we just kept theory crafting the whole time, which made it even better. Because when we came together in theory craft and all this stuff, we just kept going of all the possibilities of what's going on. And then when we finally found out what was going on, it was like, oh shit, you know?
Yeah. And apparently, like, and there's a big story that is. You think the story is disconnected from the previous Resident Evil games? Turns out the story is actually kind of connected in a bigger way than you think. I haven't seen the complete ending. I was just told, and I haven't seen the complete all ending yet. I've seen a lot of gameplay, but I haven't seen the complete ending yet. So I don't know what the game has to offer with the ending. And frankly, there's a lot of the game I haven't even seen like during the mid parts and during the quiet parts that I haven't seen myself that I'd like to freaking go back and see or freaking play, regardless. But also I thought to myself, how is this game connected to the other characters? Like, all the characters from the Resident Evil series, they're not in it. Like, where is everybody? Is this a brand new story? It's like, what's going on? And it turns out it is in its way a brand new story. It is a brand new story, like, in itself, but also it's connected to the Resident Evil games in a certain way. And I can't really explain it because I don't know that. I haven't played it myself, but I have been told from my friend who played it a ton that once you find out how it's connected, it's going to blow your mind. Now that I really want to find out, and that's why I want to play it.
Oh.
Ryan's reconnecting.
Oh, and of course we're hitting that. We're hitting that technical difficulty situation again, peeps.
Crap.
Did he completely disconnect?
I don't know.
Nobody's looking at their screens?
No, he's connecting. Yeah, he's connecting.
Well, we'll continue on for a little bit and.
Okay. I don't know if you were done talking or not, Dandy.
Oh, I was gonna go on. I could go on about Resident Evil, like how cool it is, but I can't. I won't really know until I play it. Oh, go let the party. But yeah, dude. I wish I could talk about. Like more games. Like the only problem is, I've been playing so much For Honor that I could talk about that all day.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like I'm trying to
and I
think.
know you
The only
guys
other
don't.
game that's come out lately is Ghost Recon Wildlands, and I know Ryan's played that, but of course he.
The beta came out. The beta did, and
No, the
I
actual game's out.
wait. It is. No,
Yeah, it came
it's
out
not. It
on the
comes out.
16th.
No, it comes out in March, doesn't it?
Came out on the 16th.
Oh, that's
Dude,
weird.
when you buy a brand
Shit.
new video, like
Another game I gotta
when you-
get.
I believe if you buy a 1070 or higher, or buy like a higher end gaming PC, you get a free code for it.
Okay.
So it's obviously out.
All right. Well, here's what's cool about Wildlands.
And also, they're going to be doing free play days starting tomorrow, going to the 27th on the Xbox. So,
Sweet.
you know,
Yeah.
we should all try and hop on there tomorrow and fucking dick around.
Maybe. Dude, with Wildlands, I gotta say, man, I got hooked. I played the beta and I got hooked.
From what
I'm not-
Ryan has said, is that it's kind of like what the Division should have been.
Yeah, this is what the Division should have been. Dude, the map in this game is stupid huge. Like, it's big. I'm talking big. Like, I thought I was going. I got up in a helicopter. I can't speak. Oh, I gotta calm down. Okay, I got in a freaking helicopter.
You're up here,
and I-
Danny. You're up here.
Yep.
Bring it down here.
I got in a freaking helicopter and I rode it up. And I saw like I could see vast landscape ahead, like really vast landscape, really long landscape. And I'm like, oh man, this is got to be like half the map, right? It wasn't even a quarter of the map.
Wow. Like,
And there are mountains in the distance. You can go there.
wow. Like, it's so, that's kind of one of the things that's so interesting about gaming today. And it's one of the reasons I always feel older than I actually, really am, is because in the amount of time that I've been into gaming, it's just the amount of change that's happened in gaming. Because if you look back and think about when you were playing like Grand Theft Auto Vice City, how big we used to think that map was.
Yeah.
And then you go and look at it now, like a picture of it now, and you're like, holy shit, we thought that was huge. And then you look at a map like, not Far Cry, but
What I missed.
no, we're just talking about Ghost Recon Wildlands now.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if you noticed, but I was gone.
Yeah, we did notice.
Yeah, we noticed.
Okay.
We just didn't care.
We were gonna give you a little bit
Fair
before we
enough.
tried sending you another call, but I was just saying, how weird it is to think about back in the day when we were playing Grand Theft Auto Vice City, how big we used to think that map was. And then when you look at it now compared to a game like Ghost Recon Wildlands or Just Cause or, other games of that type where it's a massive open world and you think the map of Grand Theft Auto Vice City was big and you put it in comparison to one of those maps and it's not even like a 16th of the size of the maps that we have today. It's just amazing to see the progression of what we have today. And like, I'm kind of excited to try, Ghost Recon Wildlands, and it sucks is that I'm probably going to be able to stay up until midnight when it's going to hit and be able to start it downloading, even though it'll take
I
me
think
like.
it's out right now.
Oh, you think I'd be
as
able
we
to
speak.
download it? Because it's not supposed to hit
I'm
till the
checking right now.
23rd. So, but I'm going to be playing it tomorrow, and I think a bunch of us are going to hop on to try and play it tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
And try and take advantage of those free play days. And if I really enjoy it, I'm probably going to end up buying it, hopefully. And you were saying something about it, Dandy, but I kind of cut you off. Sorry.
No, you're good. I mean, it's what I agree that it's what the Division should have been. It's like, I mean, I dove into the beta when I got the closed beta. I dove into it like I really did. It's just freaking head first. I put some hours into it, and gosh, dude, like just roaming around and just like picking
It's out
off
right now.
cartel. Oh
It's
man,
out
it's
right
just
now?
like.
It's out right now. You can install it currently.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, man, it's it really is really cool because there is some like military tactics involved in that game as well. Oh, freaking Haziki is cut out. Anyway,
Yeah, look,
Whoa.
I think Skype's hitting that point where it's
It's
causing
telling us to
connection.
stop.
It's telling us to stop.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can reconnect soon. We'll probably try and bring this to a close here soon, but you know, I'm excited to try Ghost Recon Wildlands. If somebody wants to work on trying to get Hezekiah's back, go for it. I'm not in front of a screen that I can do it.
Yeah, Wildlands is really good. I wouldn't say really good, but it's pretty dang good.
He left the party, but he should be coming back pretty soon because he's still online.
Well, we need to probably hurry up and wrap this up because if Ryan, you've gone down, then Hezekiah went down. It's either going to be me or Dandy that goes down next, and if I go down, then we're in some deep shit.
We've been talking for like close to 2.5 hours now, right?
Yeah. We were looking to get. We were hoping to get about 2 episodes for you guys today, just basically because we've been gone for so long. We really want to get some shit out there, and we really wanted to explain why we were on that forced hiatus.
The really forced hiatus.
Yeah, it was. There was no choice in it for us. We just were forced to go on hiatus for a little bit. Other than Ghost Recon Wildlands, for me, there's not a whole lot out there that I'm looking forward to play, which is kind of sad, but I'm looking forward for the new DLC for Battlefield. But, I don't know, Dandy, you got anything else out there that you're looking forward to playing?
Just a lot of For Honor, my friend. But I really want to jump back into Battlefield 1 one of these days. That and Gears 4. I haven't touched Gears 4 in a long time, and when Gears 4 dropped, I put some mega time into it.
Well, Gears 4 is cross-platform, so when you own it on the Xbox, you own it on a PC, too.
Yeah,
Wink,
I
wink,
don't have a PC. Anyway.
When's your birthday?
June 16th, but I'm not getting a PC because I don't do PC.
Dandy, if you gave it a shot, you'd fucking love it.
Yeah,
There's
besides, you have no room to cry about not wanting a PC.
And we gotta hold up,
one.
because I think Ezekiel's just tried to dial in again, but it started ringing. So we might have that little technical issue there, folks, but somebody wants to send him a
there he
call.
goes.
There he is.
He's back.
Oh yeah, sorry about that, guys. I don't know. I pulled up my laptop because I was just like, I'm gonna do some multitasking, which I should have
Boom,
known
there
with
goes
my
the-
goddamn internet connection was a bad idea. Because
we're circling for a landing now anyway, but
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
I
so
was
basically
trying to
what we're saying
update
is
my
Danny's
Steam
getting a
and
computer and he's gonna like it.
No, I'm not.
you're gonna
Okay,
get a
you are.
computer.
It's been decided.
You're gonna get a computer, Dandy. You're
No,
gonna
I'm
get a PC.
Me, Corn,
No,
and
no.
Joe are putting money in, and we're making you a PC and sending it.
No. Don't.
Oh, no.
Wait.
No.
Spend your money on your. Use that money for yourself.
We'll
No,
buy you.
dude.
We'll make you a PC, and it'll be baller.
You're probably gonna. Yeah, but you're probably gonna put like some lame stats. Ugh.
What do you mean lame stats?
Yeah, what do you mean? We're gonna make it just as good as mine.
Dandy, yeah, the computer I've built for Ryan is just barely a step below mine.
Yeah, but I don't have any money, dude. I don't have any money myself to provide for any of this stuff, man. I can't.
For
provide
your
You
it.
don't need to
birthday.
provide for anything.
For your birthday.
Yeah, chunky freaking A. Oh gosh.
You could play games with us on the PC, and it would make recording a hell of a lot easier too.
You'll learn to enjoy it. And it's
I
better
mean-
than just saying, like, oh, here, I'll use my iPad. Because the iPad
Yeah.
can't do everything.
There might be a PC game that comes out that you might really want to play, but it might not come out for Xbox.
There's not too many of those.
But there
Oh,
are
I
some.
beg to differ.
There is a vast library of games that are only available on the PC that a lot of them don't require a lot, but when you play them, they're so much fun.
And trust me, there's plenty of fucking bitchin' ass FPSs for you on there.
Yeah,
Take it
and
from me.
and even if you would rather use a controller with a lot of FPSs for the PC, you can even just pop in your controller and use it.
Yeah, pretty much everything's controller compatible at this point. So
Yeah, so I mean,
it's just an even stronger version of an Xbox One.
Yeah, basically, you just have a stronger version of your Xbox.
I'll think about it. Man. I don't want to conform to like the PC master race.
You won't conform to the PC master race. Jesus
The people
Christ.
who call it the PC master race are literal elitists. They rub it in on purpose.
Yeah, they're elitists. What we're talking about is expanding your horizon instead of
so we can just play more games together.
Yeah, we're not talking about making you fully conform to the PC. We're talking about expanding your horizon to a new variety of games that you've never played before. That are
Plus, with
like
the PC,
Gary's
I just
mod.
realized you can add a lot to your streams too, instead of
Oh
just
yeah, like
a
we'd be able to
standard
add so
stream. You
much.
can add things to it.
And also, like Gary's mod, I know you would get a fucking kick out of Gary's mod.
Oh my god, yes, you would fucking love Gary's mod.
Like, I didn't think I'd like it, but when I started playing it, holy fuck, it's like crack cocaine.
You're welcome for telling me about that game.
But you can, like, especially games like Fallout. I don't know if you've played Fallout 4.
I haven't played Fallout 4 because I'm not really a big Fallout fan. It's not my type of game.
Okay, what about Skyrim?
Love Skyrim.
Love Skyrim? Love it on the Xbox? You will love it 30 times more on the PC.
Well, dude, freaking Skyrim gets mods now on Xbox.
Not as good as they are on the PC. I will put money down on that.
Dandy, listen, it's like they tried saying, like, because trust me, I'm both. I'm a diehard Xbox fan,
Same.
but
Same.
PC is just badass.
Yeah, it's badass, but
Purge the heretic.
When it comes down to it, like, if I had to choose a platform, I'd probably go with an Xbox. Because, number one, that's where I've met the majority of my friends, all of which are here. And that's how we started the fucking XCast. That's the reason we started the XCast.
I'm your friend. Aww.
No, I hate
No,
you.
you're
Goodbye.
remembering his like
shit.
little friend or whatever he said at the beginning.
I'm like the redheaded stepchild.
You're the redheaded stepchild. You're
there.
that pilot fish that swims up on the fucking underbelly of the shark. And
I was about to say that, like, eating all the scraps.
Yeah.
I'm cleaning off the algae, man. Come on.
Yeah, whatever. Fucking peasant pilot fish scum. But
Whoa there.
Peasant pilot fish gun.
scum.
What?
Scum.
It sounded like you said peasant pilot fish gun.
Clean out your ears.
Can't help it.
But no, adding a new console is not betraying the console that you've known and loved. Adding on a new branch to what you can play, it just broadens your horizons to what else is available to you.
Yeah,
And-
here, I'll give you an example. Getting this PC is going to be fucking amazing. Because, of course, I'm not going to leave the Xbox and I'll be like, oh, my PC's here, and just throw it in the fucking trash. Oh, God, no. I would never get rid of my Xbox.
Nor would I.
Bought my Xbox One as soon as possible because I liked Xbox that much. I wasn't going to fucking miss it. I got it as soon as possible so I could play games with my friends because I wasn't going to fucking miss that. What the PC is going to do is I can play more games with my friends and possibly find some cool things that's like, oh, that's pretty sweet. And then I can edit, I can learn Photoshop, I can do a whole bunch of crazy shit now.
And another thing you can do with a PC, Dandy, that you can't do with your tablet, is you can record and edit music hell of a lot easier.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like, having a PC when you're dealing with a lot of music recording is almost necessary because you just can't do the kinds of things you can do. You can do so much more with a PC that you just can't do with a tablet. And it just makes, especially, when you teach your bass lessons, it makes, looking shit up easier. It makes, it just makes your general life easier. having a computer makes your general life easier, and so does it broaden your horizons to the games you can play. Now, are we going to expect you to play all the games that we want to play on the PC? No. Are we going to expect you to get all the games you have on your Xbox on the PC? No. Are we still going to play with you on Xbox? Yes.
Yeah, it's not like even through the PC, let's say one day I'm just really fucking tired. I want to play a game of Civilization for an hour. I can still invite you to an Xbox party over my PC.
Exactly. And, say, one day you're playing on your PC, Dandy, and you happen to be like, you know what, I'll give Civ 5 a shot. Guarantee you text Riot and I that, we'll be on within minutes.
God.
We'll have corn on.
That's stretching it.
That might be stretching it, but
it's always worth a shot.
It's always,
we can actually gift you games now.
Yeah, we could give you games. And the nice thing is, oh no, I'm running out of space. Slap in a new hard drive. No need to delete shit.
Yeah, but those hard drives cost a ton.
You can get a terabyte hard drive. Oh, I can get a terabyte hard drive for $30.
What about graphics cards? Don't they cost a ton of money? Good graphics cards cost a ton of money.
I got the video card I put in Ryan's computer, which is a step down from mine. It's a step down from mine, and it's $119 on sale.
See that I can't do.
But do you realize how long they last you?
Yeah, here's the thing. That graphics card, he's not going to need to update for 2 years. So by the time the next console comes out, he's not going to need to upgrade his video card. But here's the other thing, is where I work, a Micro Center. Say, because we'd be getting all the parts there for your computer. I can get protection plans on all. I got protection plans on all of Ryan's shit. So in 2 years, say a little under, he decides he wants to get an upgrade for his video card. He can send it to me. I can redeem that replacement plan, and use all that money to put forward to the next video card he wants.
Basically, Joe will help supply you with the stuff because of his store's protection plan, and when you're ready to upgrade, you just send it back to him. And you get another one basically free.
Or hell, you could just drive down here. Like, when you're here, I'll take you over where I work, and you'll be in there for just giddy. Like, if you're a true nerd, there's just so much to nerd out in there. Like, and just down the shopping mall, we've got a fucking board game store, and also a fucking store or it's not even a store, it's just a place where you can go and play games. They even have a virtual reality headset that you can just go and play on.
I hear you. First off, I wouldn't mind probably the concept of maybe owning a PC, but that's something that me myself might have to gradually get into. But I mean, like, over time, I'm going to have to really try to think about it, because, like, I mean, Xbox alone, it's user friendly, but with, like, PC, there's a ton of hoops, and that's what I'm trying to.
There's really like that's the thing. It's like, that's the biggest misconception about PCs, is that there's
more hoops in a console.
Yeah, there are more hoops
if you want
to
use it like a computer.
If you want to use it, yeah. Whereas a computer is pretty much straightforward. Like, even if you're computer illiterate, you can still, as long as you can log on to something, you can figure out how to work it. Like, now, yes, there are some things, like, more internal that, yeah, if you needed help with it. Like, the thing I've done with Ryan's is that I've installed a program on there, so in case he runs into an issue where he doesn't know how to work it, he can give me a call or shoot me a text, and I can remote into it and take a look at it. And if I can say, oh, well, you just put this in the wrong spot, or, this is just out of place. I can just move it right back where it needs to go. Or, I can be like, oh, you actually do have a hardware issue. Send that to me, and I'll exchange or swap it out for a brand new part. It's not like we're just going to give you this PC and then say, well, there you go, have at it. We'll be there to help you through any issues.
Yeah, it's not like exactly. We're not just gonna sit there and be like, all right, there's Windows is on it, so figure out how to do the rest.
Yeah, like, and hell, like, fuck it. On your birthday, fuck. I'll hand deliver it and show you how to work it. I mean, you're only, what, 4 hours away, give or take?
2.5 hours away from you.
That's right. Yeah, it's like 2.5 hours from here to, what is it, Des Moines,
Count-
something like that.
Council Bluffs, dude.
Council Tucky.
Kentucky, it's right next to Omaha.
Kansas.
Right next to that finger-licking good chicken.
Oh, finger
I live 5
licking.
minutes away
That
from
is-
everyone.
That is some good Christian chicken.
Joe,
Oh,
I'm
my.
pretty sure you are closer to finger licking chicken than us. I don't know if you know where Kentucky is in relation to Kansas and Iowa, but yeah,
Well,
you're
yes,
probably
I do.
closer.
No, dude, I'm totally the closest one there.
Yeah, I think Ryan's the closest.
Hey guys, I got a no joke, man. But I'm really feeling it, and I'm really
Yeah,
just about to call it.
yeah, we should probably circle for a landing, though. I think we were just covering, what
Yeah,
we're
I know.
looking
You're
forward to playing. Or Ryan, I think you were kind of up next. What are you looking forward to playing?
Oh shit, dude. I'm looking forward to go back through my Steam library and play some old games I haven't touched in a while and give them a shot again, and then play some more WoW, dude.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to playing more WoW.
That's what I was just updating when my fucking internet crashed or connection crashed. I was updating
dude,
Steam.
let's fucking play.
I don't have anything on my Steam. I literally like installed it and like I think
I'll send you
because
some games.
I was gonna play DayZ. I've been dying to play that.
That's a game, like, I think
That's a
Dandy
game I'd wanna
might.
try, I guess.
I think Dandy might like that, but
Yeah,
I believe
think
it
you'd
does
enjoy
have.
it.
I don't know if it has controller
Got a steep
support.
learning curve.
Yeah, it does have
It's got a steep
learning
learning curve though.
Yeah.
DayZ,
But-
and I found this other survival game called Stranded Deep, where you're like you survive
that
a
one's
plane
pretty
crash
cool.
and you're stuck on an island in like the middle Pacific Ocean. And that looks fucking awesome.
Good
Yeah.
survival game is Rust.
Yeah, I
Ark
wanna
is
try
so much
Rust, too.
fun on a fucking PC. What I need to do, if I really want to put your PC through a fucking ringer, Ryan, I need
Put
to
Ark on there.
I need to fucking log on to my Steam, download Ark, and just
Oh
see what
god,
it
that's
can
a
do.
stress test and a half.
Ark is one of those games that's just out there. But we'll save that for our next podcast. Hopefully, next podcast we'll probably talk about some other shit, probably Nintendo Switch, see what's going on in the current gaming field.
Switch.
I don't know.
Damn.
You got the new Zelda game that's coming out for the Nintendo Switch. So I mean, that's going to be
It's
interesting.
not just the Switch, it's coming out for Wii U too, so they fucked
Well-
themselves big time on that.
The Wii U is kind of shit. So
No, but here's the thing. Why release it for the Wii U when you want it to be your console seller?
this is
There
true.
you go, you
but,
fucked yourself.
But we can cover
You
that.
played yourself.
We can cover that over the next podcast. Hopefully, the next podcast will be soon. But we're going to be this couple of episodes have stretched over the past 2 weeks. So hopefully, we'll have a new one out next week. Obviously, we'll let you guys know over Twitter. Of course, you're following us on Twitter. You're following us our private Twitters as well. It's been a hell of a fucking ride trying to get these fucking podcasts done after everything that's gone on. Oh, and that whole thing about gaming not farting, I just let one rip massively.
Oh my god. Alright, just end it. Just end it.
Go ahead,
Goodbye,
go ahead and
everyone.
end it.
Goodbye.
End it.
Fucking, just,
fucking sarin gas attack. Just ended.
yeah, no, just end it there.
Mustard gas.
That's the perfect place to stop. Alright, we're done. I'm tired.
I'm
There's
tired.
there's gas in the
Just
air.
fucking
I'm really tired.
Put on those gas masks, bitches. It's time to ride.
Gas.
Guns.
Yes, yes.
Guns.
Guns.
Gas. Guns.
Gas. Ass blasted.
Ass blast.
But
Jesus, dude.
everybody, it's been a great joy
my
to try
God.
finally record again. Hope to see you next time. Hope to get a couple more followers. Of course, like, subscribe, the shit, whatever. Follow us on Twitter. Y'all know our shit. It's all gonna be linked below, and somebody's fucking letting them rip just massively. I'm pretty sure that's Ryan.
Damn right.
But everybody, good to hear. It's good to be out here.
We're just back and we're happy about it.
We're back. We're happy about it finally. But this is from the XCast, and we're signing off.
See ya.
Bye.
We're all tired. We don't give a crap anymore.
Tired.